Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series live commentary stream to kick off our NASCAR race weekend events at the Texas Motor Speedway, a triple header. The streams for you guys over the next 36 to 48 hours. Appreciate you guys tuning in on this late Friday night stream. 3 straight days of streaming here on the channel with live NASCAR content. This is the running of the SpeedyCash.com 250 at Texas Motor Speedway once again for the Truck Series tonight. Nick Sanchez starting on the pole for the second consecutive season in the Truck Series race at Texas. He is my pick to go on to win this race because he led all but just 3 laps last season, including the final lap, which was won by Carson Hocevar after Sanchez got in a crash on the last lap, battling for the win. I think he gets redemption here today. He's had some fast race trucks on the mile-and-a-half track since debuting in the Truck Series for his rookie season last year, and I think this year he can do much of the same. But appreciate everybody tuning in here this afternoon. Again, we have 4 streams coming for you guys. We'll get more on the Xfinity and the Cup Series stuff coming up later this weekend once we get into tomorrow's action. And I'll give you the start times for those a little bit later in the stream. But before we get things started here for this one, we got to go through the starting lineup for today's SpeedyCash.com 250 at Texas Motor Speedway. Again, Nick Sanchez is on the pole here for this one for the second straight Texas Truck Series race weekend. And Christian Eckes will start outside of the front row in second. 2 wins of the year for Eckes. We'll see if he can go for 3 here tonight. Stuart Friesen and Kyle Busch will line up in row 4. Busch with a win already this season in his first truck start at Atlanta, looking for his second win in his 4th truck start this season. Grant Enfinger, Daniel Dye will line up in row number 3. Dye's had some good qualifying performances this year, but needs to get better in the race finish department. We'll see if he can get a good finish tonight. Rookie Lane Riggs turning the corner over the last several weeks on the short track. Starts inside of row 4 with Bailey Curry to his outside. In row number 5, it'll be Taylor Gray, Raja Caruth. Caruth locked into the playoffs with a win already this season. Ty Majeski, Zane Smith will line up in row number 6. Smith, the only Cup regular outside of Kyle Busch in the field here today. Jake Garcia, Corey Heim in row number 7. Heim with a win at COTA a couple weeks ago, and he starts just outside the top 10 today, looking for another win here tonight. Chase Purdy, Connor Jones will line up in row number 8. Row 9 will be Dean Thompson and the return of Johnny Sauter, and then East Motorsports Chevrolet in the 45 truck. Defending series champion Ben Rhodes on the inside of row 10 with Matt Mills to his outside. Lawless Allen and Matt Crafton will line up in row number 11. Row 12, Thad Moffitt, Ty Dillon. Stephen Parsons, Chris Wright are going to line up in row 13. Row 14 for Brett Holmes and Spencer Boyd. Behind them in row 15 is Mason Massey and Timmy Hill. Row 16 is going to be Memphis Villarreal and Keith McGee. Tyler Rankrum, Tanner Gray, and row 17 rounding out the 34 truck field today. And as for Ankrum, he's had a great start this season. 3 top 3 finishes on the year so far. So as we've gone through the starting lineup for the race today, now it's time to look at the point standings through the first 6 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series races in 2024 championship. Again, 15 playoff points awarded to the regular season champion. So that is why that is a close and very interesting battle to watch throughout the rest of the regular season. After tonight's over, only 9 races remain in the regular season for the Truck Series, with it only being 16 races. This is our 7th race of the year. Ty Majeski leads in points despite not having a win this season. He does have 4 top 10 finishes, 3 top 5s, only 1 DNF. He has led 117 laps. But again, no wins. That's going to be much needed bonus points, I think, for Majeski if he does still lack in the wins department. It helped Corey Heim last year, who only had 1 win in the regular season before winning the regular season championship. Got a couple more wins in the playoffs, of course, and then made his way to the championship 4. So we'll see if Majeski can do that this year. He has a 7-point lead over both Corey Heim and Tyler Ankrum, who sit tied for second. Corey Heim with 6 top 10 finishes. His first non-top 10 finish actually came last weekend at Martinsville. He has continued his top 10 streak, through Martinsville. It was his closest race to finishing outside the top 10 as he finished in the 10th place position. Only 49 laps led for Heim this year. Most of those were at COTA, where he got the win that day. Doesn't look quite as strong out of the gate necessarily this year for race wins, but has had good top 5 speed. He's got 4 top 5s as well on the season 1 stage win. Mentioned Ankrum's got 3 top 3 finishes. Those are all of his top 5s, and he's tied for second in points as a result. Christian Eckes has the most series wins with 2 apiece on the season, including the most recent race at Martinsville a couple weeks ago. Those are his only 2 top 5s on the season. 306 laps led for Eckes, most in the series, and he also has the most stage wins. So trying to claw his way up in points. He's only 11 points out of first. Taylor Gray is in 5th in the point standings. Great top 5 run for him early in the season. Nick Sanchez, who got the win in the season opener at Daytona, is 6th. Rajah Caruth with a win, as well as mentioned already. That was at Las Vegas. He is 7th in points. Matt Crafton is 8th in the point standings as he currently sits 31 points above the cutoff line. Grant Enfinger comes into the night only 12 points above the cutoff line. And defending series champion Ben Rhodes is on the cutoff line, 10th in the points standings. Only 10 drivers qualified for the Truck Series playoffs, and he is only 6 points to the good over Tanner Gray. Those two flip-flopped in the standings after last week. It was Gray who was in 10th and Rhodes in 11th, but now Rhodes in 10th and Gray is in 11th. Jake Garcia, 12th on the standings, also within contention. Daniel Dye, Bailey Curry, and then Stuart Friesen, 15th in points, maybe in danger of missing the playoffs 2 consecutive seasons in a row. See if he can dig himself out of a hole. Our stage splits tonight are 40, 40, and 87. Fuel window is 50 to 55 laps on a full tank of gas. They will not have to pit under green flag conditions in Stage 1 and Stage 2, but if we run the final stage caution-free, they will have to pit at some point there. And as for this race here today, we already went through the starting lineup. Already gave you my prediction to win. Again, that is going to be Nick Sanchez. You can vote for who you think is going to win the race tonight in the chat. There's a poll open per usual. You have until the end of Stage 2 to vote for your race winner. You can vote between Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez, Kyle Busch, or other. 50% of you right now saying that Kyle Busch will win out of 16 early votes. 25% say Christian Eckes, only 6% with Nick Sanchez, and 19% of you say somebody other than those three will get the win. Mark Witkowski, Wade Zielinski, JoJo, Mark DeMars, Robert Perkel, Lincoln Kim Hollingsworth, Wade Zielinski, I already said, yeah, I don't know why I said it twice, Dan Bowers, Patrick Shadley, and others. Welcome into the stream, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in here on the Friday night. Be sure to run that like count up. Our goal is 100 for this Truck Series race, per usual for the truck races. So again, 100 likes is our goal. So be sure to hit that like button if you guys haven't done so yet. NASCAR Fan 05, welcome to the stream as well. As we're awaiting the drop of the green flag, we'll listen into the FS1 booth. Again, you can watch this race on Fox Sports 1. Obviously, listen to my commentary throughout the course of the night as well. Jamie Little, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip on the call.
Well, I talked to Mr. H after that first win. He was so proud of you. So do him proud again tonight, buddy. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. One step, one punch, one right at a time.
Love his attitude.
I do too. Very confident.
We were working together this morning with some Craftsman content, and he just has that attitude that you heard there on the radio when he's walking around. He's just really a fun guy, very appreciative and thankful for this opportunity, and a great cat and a great race car driver to watch behind the wheel.
He's got a little pep in his step here, too. This is another mile and a half.
Great cat.
Won Las Vegas.
Can't wait to see what Rajah Caruth can do. Well, let's get some pre-green reports. Let's start with Josh Sims.
And let's start with the 77 of Chase Purdy. Things are trending in the right direction for this team, coming off their best finish of the season, 3rd at Martinsville, coming to a place where they finished runner-up here last year. When I talked to Chase, he said, of course, that gives me confidence to do something really well tonight. We just can't beat ourselves, Amanda.
Well, Josh's drivers and teams are making their way into Texas over the last couple of days. Ty Dillon was awaiting the arrival of his 3rd child with wife Haley. Son Bear Dakota, who is roughly 31 hours old right now, joined the family over yesterday. Ty stayed overnight at the hospital with that new bundle of joy right there, had his backpacks and flew in with the RCR Xfinity team this morning. Proudly saying, as you see there, Dillon family of 5. The 25 truck will start on row 12.
Congratulations, Haley and Ty. How exciting. Now we've got to jump in that truck and go for the win. We've got a few onboards for tonight.
Yeah, we're going to ride along with Matt Crafton. Matt has 30 top 10 finishes here at Texas, including 19 in a row at one time, and he's a 2-time winner. He's going to start that Menards Ford from the 22nd spot.
Welcome back, Zane Smith. We're going to hop on board this number 91 SpeedyCash.com truck. Speedy Cash. How cool is that for the name of this race, and a great sponsor for Zane Smith. We're going to watch for him to fly through this field, maybe win this race tonight.
We're also going to ride along with our guy, Daniel Dye. This is the Race to Stop Suicide Chevrolet. Daniel starting in the 6th spot. Great qualifying effort. Remember, we had the pole back in Atlanta, so looking for another top 10 finish.
Working that wheel, warming up those tires. That's what this is all about, making sure he's ready to go racing. Everything feels good behind the wheel of that truck.
Daniel Dye here for the 2nd time. You see right there, a lot of color going on the inside. Stuart Friesen's Chili's sponsor truck. It's the menu.
He's got peppers on that thing,
Yes,
Davey.
he
He's
does.
going to be fast. You know it.
It's a good-looking truck, and gosh, that smile on his face, that was old Stuart Friesen. There it is right there. You can actually see all the different items that you can order at Chili's. Let's listen to Taylor Gray's radio.
Take advantage of situations if we can. Get something, you know yourself, it's going to be hard to pass. Just be cautiously aggressive as we move forward, and just be smart about this. Be around at the end. I think we got a good shot at this deal, but you can do it. You're the man. Coming up. Appreciate all our work, fellas.
Phil, did you ever understand what cautiously aggressive meant? Were you good at that?
I don't think so.
I got confused when they would say that. What am I supposed to do? You want to be cautious or aggressive?
I can do one or the other. I don't know about two.
Hard to pull both off at the same time.
I love his crew chief, Jeff Hensley, just so cool, calm, and collected to his driver, letting him know what's up. So drivers who've gone to victory lane so far this season, you see Christian Eckes last week became the first repeat winner of the season.
A lot of youth on that board, Phil. Raja Caruth. There's Christian, as you mentioned, Corey Heim. Look at that grandfather clock. NASCAR racers, that's one of the most prized trophies in all the sport.
Warming up those tires. What a beautiful night here it is. It's going to be beautiful all weekend long. It's 250 miles tonight. It's one of the longer races of this season.
And that's good news for Raja Caruth. Dropping to the back. He says, I got those extra laps to make my way to the front.
Yeah, Tyler Rankin as well. Remember, Tyler Rankin got into the wall along with Tanner Gray in practice. They have backup trucks at the rear of the field.
That's got to be a little bit aggravating to be able to not know what you're going to have. Guys, probably apprehensive about the start of this thing, too.
No kidding. When the flag dropped for practice today, 2 trucks right away, right in turn 2, straight in the wall, straight to a backup. So
It's going to be a troublesome corner all race weekend long. Turns 1 and 2. Very low grip on this racetrack. Very narrow through that corner, with it being less embanked than 3 and 4. And no PJ Wonder traction compound. Green flag is in the air, and the NASCAR race weekend at Texas is underway. Nick Sanchez leading the field on the bottom groove into turns 1 and 2. Got a good push on that initial start from the truck in line behind him of Stuart Friesen, but he was unable to pull clear and is still side by side for the race lead down the back straightaway with Christian Eckes to his outside. As they head for turns 3 and 4, it'll be Eckes nearly clear of Sanchez, nearly clear of Eckes. And he is able to clear him off turn 4 to lead the first lap under green today. Corey Heim got way up out of the groove, almost up against the outside wall in the middle of turns 3 and 4. And from the top 10 starting spot he had, he'll now fall back to the 13th place position before getting himself back in line. Now 14th as he still struggles in the outside lane and is finally on the back straightaway, able to get down to the bottom. As he does that, there's a big crash behind him. Heavy impact to the rear end of the race truck for Thad Moffitt in the 46. Severe damage for somebody else there, limping their way into 3 and 4. Looks like the 20 truck as well involved. So a 2-truck incident off of turn 2 on the back straightaway on lap 2 between Memphis Villarreal and Thad Moffitt. Moffitt's definitely not going to be able to continue with his damage. I would probably like to think that Memphis Villarreal is also going to be done for the day. Tyler Ankrum, who came into this race second in the point standings, backup truck sending him to the back for the start. He is involved in the wreck on lap 2. So more than 2 trucks involved in Ankrum, a heavy hitter by way of the point standings. One of the regular season championship contenders in trouble midway through the regular season already for the Truck Series.
That as well.
I talked about the wrecking in practice, and now Tyler Ankrum's had to experience both, wrecking early in the race. Worked so hard for these opportunities, and it's just heartbreaking for me as a race fan and a racer to see these guys have to go through this.
let's listen to the radio on Tyler Ankrum.
He hit him. Did you not hear me? I was doing all I could to slow down, Eddie. Guys, you ready? It's kill.
That's Eddie DeHaan, his spotter. Obviously, it sounds like there was a little miscommunication or he missed something there, but here's a replay exactly what happened.
See the 46, that's Thad Moffitt, way out of the groove up high. It's really slippery up. Nobody's really been up there. You see how hard his wheels are turned to the left.
Something's wrong with that truck, I think, Phil. I mean, he was just trying.
barely get by.
Oh, and
Memphis via Raw didn't make it by. Was there something wrong with it? Because he was trying. I mean, he was turning hard left.
Yeah, you could see the left front tire turn so hard.
Did he make contact in the wall earlier before we see him, and that's why he couldn't steer the truck?
Hard to
No,
tell.
there's no damage to the right side. That's interesting.
Look
See how he's turning?
Yeah, look how far he's turning, how hard he's turning to the left.
Something's broke. Watch this.
And then finally the truck, it grabs and finally does turn.
He almost right hooked Sawalich into the wall.
And sideways doing.
Oh, my goodness. Well done by Raja Caruth.
I should say Chris Wright. Wright's in the one.
Wright. He was off the pace early. He was the first one to clip Moffitt there. Oh, heartbreaker for Tyler Ankrum.
How do you think it was a situation where he was just trying to turn hard left to keep that truck from going into the outside wall, and then finally those front tires, he slowed down enough with those front tires to get grip?
I've never seen one cut that hard and it not going anywhere. That was strange, but probably needed to just keep it up high, but it was weird looking.
Under caution for the first time tonight for this first incident coming out of turn 2. Damaged 4 trucks. We'll be back for Fort Worth.
Turn 2, lap 2, 4-truck incident involving championship contender Tyler Ankrum, as well as Memphis Villarreal, Thad Moffitt, and Raja Caruth got a piece of it, but not as much damage on Raja's race truck, so he should be okay and remain on the lead lap. As for the other 3, though, good chance they're all going to get taken out of the race. Best chance to continue of those involved in this wreck would be Tyler Ankrum, but he did pancake the outside wall pretty hard after getting clipped there on the back straightaway. So 3-truck incident, tail end of the field, right off the exit of turn 2 again was the place of the incident on lap 2. Nick Sanchez, currently your race leader, led the opening lap and a half. Before that, caution ended up coming out. Now he's leading more laps under the yellow. We saw quite a few cautions in this race last year, but Sanchez was able to nail nearly every restart. He led all but the last few laps of the race in an overtime finish, in which was won again by Carson Hocevar in a last lap pass after a crash just after the race leaders had gotten to the white flag, approaching the final lap of the day. Be sure to hit the subscribe button as well on the channel. I didn't mention before the start of the stream, but only 9 subscribers shy of 5,000 coming into this stream tonight. We've been stuck at 9 all week since the end of the Cup race Sunday afternoon, so be sure to hit the subscribe button so we can get to number 5,000 here tonight. That'd be awesome. Don Graham, Bond 1771, Chris Davis, as others, welcome into the stream. Dan Bauer is taking the 19. Stuart Friesen might just surprise us. That's a bold pick. Kyle Busch dominates. Yeah, we'll see if that happens. Track position definitely matters in any race, it seems like nowadays in NASCAR, but we know how hard it is to pass at Texas. Since the repave and reconfiguration, doesn't matter what series is racing here. Billy Kramer, welcome into the stream as well. Yeah. Let's get the 5K subscribers tonight, on top of our 100 like goal, of course, as well, per usual. Definitely want to get to that also. 30 likes on the stream so far, as we are just in the opening laps of this race. So, again, appreciate everybody that has tuned in here for this one. Kyle Busch 4th, Grant Enfinger 5th, pretty much all about where they started in this race, in that same order in the top 5. This is a 250-mile race here today. Usually see 200-mile races in the Truck Series, so this is one of the longer races. And again, 250 miles, 167 laps of scheduled distance. And again, we're racing to lap 40 at the end of stage 1, lap 80 to the end of stage 2, which is another 40-lap stage. So the final stage will be 87 laps, more than double the length of each stage 1 and stage 2. Pretty much making up the entire second half of the race.
SpeedyCash.com 250, and we're under caution for the first time. See Tyler Ankrum, one of the contenders for the championship this season, is out early.
And our stat guys are listening to the radio and thinking possibly they're hearing some conversations that the steering wheel might have come off of that 46 truck. And the way
wow,
that
that's
the tires
scary.
were cut dead left and coming down the hill, that's certainly something that's a possibility, because other than that, I just can't think of why the truck would have went that way.
Maybe we can talk to Thad and get a little clarity after he visits the infield care center.
I've seen a couple of times in my 40-something years in this sport a wheel falling off, and it does go dead left when that would explain it, but maybe that's not what happened. But something definitely went wrong. The wheels would have never been like this.
No control over it. He probably would not have just kept on turning left into the traffic like that. Trying to look and see. I see his left hand. Looks like it's on the steering wheel, but in the position where the steering wheel would be, but not sure.
We got all boots on ground trying to figure this one out, because we were also listening to the radio transaction, and the team was saying we can't figure out what would have happened, and we haven't heard from Thad yet.
180 miles an hour. We slow it up, and it's still hard to see what exactly happened. But for Thad Moffitt, his rookie season here, just hasn't had much go his way.
Matt Crafton going to come to the one to go. Crafton inside the top 20. I'm looking for him to steadily move toward the front, Phil.
There's a long talk in the garage was when they'll get to this choose, especially until we get a second groove built in over there in 1 and 2, that people may forego positions and rows to move to the inside. We'll see what happens. Looks like obviously
I'll start on the outside of that front row. I think I can get the lead. He was close to it on the initial start. Oh, that's trouble.
Got a tear off on the grill there.
Matt Mills,
that will overheat very quickly.
He needs to get up behind somebody right quick and get that thing off. Essentially, he'll probably leave it out on the racetrack and somebody else will pick it up.
A lot of those guys doing what you said, Phil, giving up a spot or two to get that bottom groove. Early in the race, that's not a bad idea. He needs to catch a break.
It's like there's a magnet on his truck.
Watch what happened to him last week. Hi, girls. How y'all doing?
I think they're Rowdy fans.
Involved in this incident here.
Matt Mills has an issue. The hood goes up.
Bam.
You can see he's looking out that little tiny hole there. They come in. They're able to put that bear bond all around it.
Remember, it's cold in Martinsville.
Look at that. Silent.
For that bear
I mean,
bond
we're looking
stick.
at like 50 degrees, so they gave it their all. Well, then the caution comes out again for bear bond on the racetrack. So looking for a better run here for Matt Mills.
Hope that plastic comes off the front.
So Nick Sanchez has led all 7 laps so far, and this is where it's going to get fun on the restart. Nick Sanchez, so good at this. Christian Eckes, so good.
All right, green flag back in the air. Lap 9, slow start to this race after the lap 2 caution, but we're back racing in the only night race of the weekend here at Texas Motor Speedway. Double wide is pretty much the entire field into the first turn. 3 wide in the back half of the top 10 there for a brief moment, quickly getting back down to side by side. Sanchez on the bottom, Eckes on the top, just as we were for the initial start. Very evasive maneuvers on the back straightaway. A lot of drivers trying to jump out of line and make passes. Sanchez clear in the middle of turns 3 and 4, once again for the lead. Still door-to-door, though, for 3rd place as well as 5th in the back half of the top 5. So Sanchez out in front of the field. Qualifying ever so important at the Texas Motor Speedway. It's very important to get back down into the bottom groove as quickly as you possibly can by the time you get into turns 1 and 2 when you're on your up to speed lap, which would be the 2nd lap after green. Already saw an incident there once tonight. First time through. Grant Enfinger getting a little bump draft at the end of the backstretch by Lane Riggs behind him. Daniel Dye still slips to the outside through 3 and 4 on that 9 truck and had a great run off the exit of the corner, carried a lot of momentum, and Dye is nearly clear into turns 1 and 2, sweeping the corner, and he is. But he doesn't get all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack like he probably needed to. He definitely had the 9 truck clear. It looked like he was a bit loose, rolling the outer groove in the middle of 1 and 2, and the 9 of Enfinger getting back underneath him again. Dye slams the door shut in the middle of turns 3 and 4. And the 9 has to lift to keep from making contact. It was a very aggressive move there to pull down in the center of the corner like Dye did, and the veteran Enfinger cuts him a break. Zane Smith's already moved inside the top 10 into the 8th place position. 4 positions gained for him today. Lap number 12 here in this one as they work their way down the back straightaway once again. Sanchez has opened up a huge lead, and we've got another spinner. And again, it's in turns 1 and 2, and it's another truck towards the back of the pack. This time it is Raja Caruth. No major damage on Caruth's race truck here. Maybe got a minor piece of the first incident of the day, but the second one, he is the result of the accident, and he should be able to continue still.
And each in and all the action we'll see. I haven't caught my breath since they threw the green flag. So much going on here.
Well, this is the farthest back that Raja Caruth has had to start this season. He's a really good qualifier, and he qualified in the top 10, but he had to drop back for that tire that they had to replace. So he gets back there, the air is all over the place, and he's gone around, but thankfully for them, it's good.
All these teams have 4 sets of tires for the race. The set they started on, 3 in the pits. They're obviously going to put a set of tires on that 71 for Raja. More than likely ruin that set of tires, so he will have to forego changing tires more than likely at the end of the first stage, because we'll only have 20-some laps when we restart this race in the first stage.
And to your point, 155 laps to go. He's got...
You see him already sideways. That car that I'm highlighting there, that truck, excuse me. Around he goes, and man, just really fortunate. Just got spun up out, or shoved up out of the groove somehow, but really, really fortunate that he didn't get into the outside wall.
Every incident we've had today from practice till now, turn 2.
See, he hasn't got the brakes on either. He's letting those tires spin, keeping it away from the wall. That's a great move. Locks them up, feels a little bit of what he's faced with, and then finally locks it down and allows the other drivers to choose their way around him.
You try to spin those rear tires to get the forward momentum, even when you're backing up towards the outside wall. He did a great job of that.
Well, let's hear from Tyler Ankrum, who's out early, Amanda.
Yeah, and out at the care center as well, he said the first words were, "A bad day just gets worse." How do you digest this one, Tyler?
I don't even know. You hang out with the squirrels, you're going to get your nuts cracked, so...
I like that.
It's honestly my fault for
Like
being
that
there in the
save.
back anyways, and my mistake in practice, so... Just going to try to fix some fast trucks and go to Kansas, I guess. I mean, it's terrible. I don't even know what to say.
Well, there's that.
This whole incident, something's definitely amiss on the 46. This whole incident has a lot of people confused. You can see Chris Wright got some damage there. Tyler with just nowhere to go. You wouldn't expect that truck to be headed in that direction. Look at Raja sideways as he goes past.
Great save for Raja, who we just saw bring out this second caution. Expecting him to come down and put some tires on, but so frustrating, heartbreaking. All this work, this effort, the garage open at 10 a.m. locally. These guys have had to work on it all day long, getting ready for tonight, and then your day is done so quick.
Not to mention all the hours that these teams spend at the garage preparing for these races.
All right, well, we've been wondering what in the world happened to Thad Moffitt. He's with Amanda.
Thad, we just took a look at the replay, and it looked like you were fighting that truck. What happened?
Yeah, so we had a big run getting down into one, and I was pretty cautious, I thought, and then we got kind of free getting in. I ended up saving that, keeping it out of the fence, and then when I tried to stay up, it just came down the racetrack on me. So, yeah, we're watching the replay right here, and it's like something broke or something almost. It just came left on me. So it's unfortunate. I hate it for my guys. We've had a crap start to the year. I'm ready for it to turn around, man. It sucks. I'm grateful to be here and have this opportunity, but it's not fun. I want to run good, as bad as you guys want to see it. So hopefully we'll keep our head up and move forward to Kansas. A couple weeks off might be good for us.
Thank you, Thad.
Thank you.
Richard Petty's grandson, you know, he watches every race. He gives Thad feedback on things he can do better, and I know it's just been a rough start for this young man.
Well, as we were speculating what happened, how could that truck be turned like that? And the crew was talking back and forth. Could the wheel have come off? It just didn't make any sense, and it still really doesn't to me that he couldn't keep that truck unless something broke, made it go left like that. He would no way have the wheels cut that hard. That would make no sense.
Chris Wright work continues on his race truck as drivers come to the choose cone.
Ooh, Stuart Friesen gives up the front row.
Going to give that outside to Eckes once again.
See Zane Smith in that green truck. He went high. Matt Craftsman says, I'll give it a whirl too.
Yeah, they're definitely widening out that second lane.
Ben Rhodes takes the outside. There's Raja Caruth.
Got him fresh tires.
Tomorrow on Fox, the United Football League kicks off week number 3 of action with a battle between the Memphis Showboats and the Birmingham Stallions. It all begins at 7 Eastern on Fox. Spring just got stronger, and it sure has. So much fun to watch these guys have a little bit of football in the spring. We're going to Talladega next. They're going to be in town at Birmingham to see the Stallions. I'm thinking about driving over there after practice qualifying and see what it's all about in person.
Menard Series first race since Phoenix.
They've had a long break, so we're ready to get back in action for a few weeks.
Strong start to this race for Daniel Dye in the race to stop suicide.com truck. There you see speedycash.com. He's got a great view for us as well. A couple of trucks right up toward the front.
Good to see Zane Smith back in the truck. It hasn't been easy going for him on the cup side of things, and to come back over to the trucks.
All right, here we go. Green flag back in the air. As we are racing in the truck series after our second early caution of the race, 3 wide to the inside goes Stuart Friesen. That's going to cost a chance at Nick Sanchez to keep this race lead. Christian Eckes is going to get out in front in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Sanchez had to pull down to block the 52 on the inside, left the outside wide open. A lot better arc into the corner for Eckes, and that allowed him to get to the race lead. Kyle Busch also got to the outside of Nick Sanchez for the second place position as they battled door-to-door at the start-finish line. Side by side now as they head into turns 1 and 2. Eckes down on the, or I keep saying Eckes, Sanchez down on the bottom lane of the racetrack. Kyle Busch up on the top. And finally, Sanchez is clear. Defensive line for Sanchez as well, getting into turns 3 and 4. Eckes quickly pulling out to a 7+ tenth of a second lead. Friesen slips up off the exit of turn 4. Leaves the bottom open for Zane Smith, who's charging his way forward. Smith quickly into the top 5. He's gained about a half a dozen positions from the start of this race, clearing the 52, getting into the corner. Daniel Dye looking to follow him on the inside through turns 1 and 2 as well. Side by side. Back straightaway. Quick peek down to the bottom, but a false move there by the truck behind him of Lane Riggs. And Friesen still dropping back in the running order on that outside lane. One and two at the very front of the field here is Eckes and Sanchez. And after Sanchez got done battling Kyle Busch on the opening lap for that second place position, he's quickly ran down Christian Eckes. At the front of the field, Eckes had a 7/10 of a second lead. That last lap, Sanchez was 3/10 of a second quicker than the race leader. One thing to be quicker than him, it's going to be a more difficult thing to try to pass him, especially consider that that is the truck with the cleanest air. He's going to have to be the one to try to pass. But we'll see how strong of a truck Sanchez has in the early going if he's able to get it done. Still 19 laps to go yet in stage 1. Off turn 2, gap about a truck length and a half between Eckes and Sanchez. Into turns 3 and 4. Down on that white line is Eckes. And just a slight bit off that white line is the line that Sanchez is running in the second place position behind him. Kyle Busch still sitting in the third place position quietly, but these top two slowly pulling away from him. Not a lot of tire fall off at Texas either, so I don't think it's necessarily that Kyle Busch is kind of holding back, saving his tires at this point in the run. I think he's just not quite got enough under the hood on the short runs compared to the 19 and the 2, but we'll see if we get any long runs in this race today, if maybe Busch can capitalize there. Again, I know there's not a lot of tire fall off, but maybe there will be something for Busch to try to capitalize on with not running as quick of lap times early in the run. Sanchez, the only driver that last lap that ran a lap time under a 30-second lap, as he still sits in second. Kyle Busch is closing to the back bumper of Sanchez, looking to get a little bit of clean air on the nose as he ran about a groove higher than the 2 truck. Top 3 now within a few tenths of a second of each other. Sanchez widens the arc out into turns 1 and 2. Busch flatlines it a bit, getting into 1 and 2. Stays around the white line down to the bottom. Off the exit of the corner, again, he is all over the back bumper of Nick Sanchez. Zane Smith, meanwhile, drove his way up to 4th and is now starting to catch these top 3. Now, I would say that Zane Smith looks to be one of the fastest, if not the fastest, on the racetrack. That last lap, he did run the second fastest lap of a 30.015. The only one who was a bit quicker was Busch of a 29.884. 15 laps to go this time by in stage 1. Playoff point again on the line for the stage winner, and A lot of these drivers up at the front of the field in the top 10 in the points standings. At least of those that are in the top 10 are looking for the stage points right now. Corey Heim, after losing a handful of positions off that initial start of the race, is back into the top 10 to 9th place now. He's gained 5 positions since this last restart. And a big loose moment it looked like for Ty Majeski. 15th place position. He has fallen quickly back in the running order. Majeski struggling with the handling of his race truck. .28 laps now complete. Our leaderboard here on this raw feed's a couple laps behind where the actual race is at. Usually it's not necessarily the case. Usually it's pretty quick with getting the update rapidly. Once the race leader crosses the start-finish line at the end of every lap, that's when the lap times and all that end up updating on the raw feed. Jeff Curry, Candy Cox, Tim Irvin, and let's see, who else is in here? Sid Vic, thanks for tuning in, guys. Mike G, welcome to the stream as well. Got 40 likes. Well more than that many people watching. Be sure to hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe. Came into the stream just 9 subscribers shy of 5,000 on the channel. See if we can get there sooner rather than later. Goes to tail top 2. Kyle Busch lagging behind just a little bit. Same with Zane Smith. Smith got within a second of the leaders, and now he's about 8 to 9 tenths of a second further back than he was prior to the commercial break. And Kyle Busch, as I mentioned there, slipping back just a little bit as well with these top 2 pulling away from him. One little hiccup, though, at a track like this, you get just a little bit of a smidge tight and dirty air. You have to lift just a slight bit more than the drivers around you, especially in the Truck Series where there's a lot more on throttle time with the higher downforce than what we'll see in the Cup and Xfinity Series races this weekend, but slightly less or slightly more downforce on top of the slightly less horsepower in this series, so definitely more flat out racing. You have to flip that throttle just a little bit because of getting tight. It's very similar to the 550 package in the Cup Series, honestly. Maybe a little bit less downforce than that, but they did drive very similar, especially in traffic. Yeah, Busch is starting to trim that gap back down again. Zane Smith is not, though. He's about 2.5 seconds off the lead now. So it looked like Zane Smith had the best short-run truck for about the first 20 to 25 laps, and he's kind of fallen off as this first stage is growing onward, down to 10 to go now in stage 1. Top 10 with 10 laps to go in the stage is Christian Eckes leading by 0.3 of a second over Nick Sanchez now. Kyle Busch is 3rd, Zane Smith 4th, Daniel Dye 5th, Stuart Friesen 6th, Lane Riggs 7th, Grant Enfinger 8th, Corey Heim 9th, and Tanner Gray rounding out the top 10. Coming up on 8 to go. Showing a battle on screen just outside the top 10 right now, so no stage points on the line for those drivers. Kyle Busch catching right back up to Nick Sanchez. Sanchez almost pinched him off, middle of the corner. Busch sneaking up to that left rear corner panel, now side by side for second down the backstretch. Sanchez is going to let him go and dive in line behind him. Kyle Busch has been trying to work him over for a while now. Fell behind a bit, caught back up, and immediately gets around Sanchez the minute he has a chance to. Kyle Busch now up to second place and trying to run down the race leader, Christian Eckes.
He's going for his 6th Truck Series win, and Kyle loves it. It's all about winning. And gosh, we talked about Zane Smith struggling on Sundays. Kyle Busch is right there as well. He needs a good run just to give him a little boost. It was pumped.
Christian Eckes holding the lead. It'd be interesting to see if that 7 truck of Kyle can close in.
Just 6 laps to go in this stage, Mike.
This stage win would be huge for Eckes. You've got to collect those playoff points. Kyle Busch couldn't care less about it. but he wants to win the stage. He doesn't need his points. He just wants to win.
He wants to win everything.
That's right.
40 laps in stage 1, 40 laps in stage 2, 87 laps will be the final stage this evening.
What do you think Christian Eckes is thinking when he looks in the mirror and sees Kyle Busch there again?
So I wonder if that's Kyle Busch in that green truck.
I beat him at Bristol. I'll take him down to the stage.
I think Kyle is coming to see what the lap time was that last time. Almost exactly the same, only a couple hundredths of a second difference.
Lapping another truck, and that's bad news for Roger. Roger lost a lap when he had that flat tire. So he's not in the free pass position, Amanda.
Yeah, and catching up on the story. So he did replace 4 tires from that original spin, came in, took those new tires, went back out, had a flat tire, came in and took 2 right side tires. So now 6 tires here for Rajah Caruth in stage 1. How much of a back foot does that put Rajah on, Michael?
You know, it just depends on the cautions and how this race plays out. I think it's not huge at this point. What's more important is the fact that he's not going to get the free pass when this stage ends, and I don't think he will stay out either. I think that he'll have to come in to get fuel. We'll see how he plays it.
Yeah, Spencer Boyd right now in that free pass position back there in 28th. When this stage ends, he would get it.
Mason Massey just ahead. Oh, boy. Last truck in the lead lap. There's Lane Briggs, as you see there, in the 38. Corey Hyman, oh, here's the battle for the lead.
It's heating up. Here's Kyle Busch. First time, can he lead tonight? He does it. Takes the lead from Christian Eckes.
He is the man.
2 laps to go in first stage here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Kyle Busch, I remember when you beat me at the start.
Look at that 7 truck, just wrapping that bottom, and you see Christian slipping up there off turn 2. You know, a couple of adjustments, though. Christian Eckes is a smart racer. He's going to be able to tell his team what he needs. Same thing with Nick Sanchez. These trucks are really close together. You hit the right adjustment, the track changes a little bit, that could be the difference in everything.
1 lap to go here at stage number 1.
That's Rajah, that blue truck, right? A couple trucks in front of Kyle. He certainly doesn't want to lose another lap.
Kyle Busch making his 4th start of 5 allowed in the Truck Series. Working his way around lap traffic.
Coming off turn 4, stage 1 will be in the books. Kyle Busch wins the first stage of the night by about a half a second over Christian Eckes in second place. Nick Sanchez third, Zane Smith fourth. Daniel Dye rounds out the top 5. Rather after Zane Smith, Stuart Friesen on the last lap makes the pass for 5th. Daniel Dye comes in 6th place in the stage. Lane Riggs 7th, Grant Enfinger 8th, Corey Heim 9th, and Taylor Gray rounding out the top 10. So those drivers all receiving stage points in this first stage. Kyle Busch actually does have a couple stage wins this season. Both came at Atlanta where he swept the stages and got the race win. So as far as the owner's points go for the number 7 truck, this will be the 8th playoff point of the year for him. 3 stage wins, a race win, and trying to go for another race win here tonight at Texas and try to go 2 for 4 in the season. We'll still see Kyle Busch in one more truck start later this season as well. As Cup regulars that have been in the Cup Series for 3 or more seasons, they can have up to 5 starts in a year. Frank Powers, welcome into the stream. Sarah India, also welcome. 50 likes on the stream already, halfway to our goal of 100. Appreciate that, everybody. And we are just wrapping up stage 1 here tonight at Texas. The stage break is our 3rd caution of the day. Free pass goes to the 02 truck of Mason Massey. On lap 11, it looked like the 1 truck of Chris Wright, who had damage, came onto pit road. After the first caution of the day was actually lapped down and got the free pass to get back in the lead lap. He's gone a lap down again since then. Rajah Caruth had his spin earlier. He's a lap down as well. So 27 trucks after this free pass for Massey to be on the lead lap when we begin stage 2. And again, 3 drivers out of the race on the lap 2 incident. Thad Moffitt, Memphis Villarreal, and Tyler Anker will end up with the last place finish here tonight. 21 laps led for Eckes, 17 for Sanchez. Busch led the last 4 of the stage, and we'll see how pit stops are going to shake up the running order, as we'll have those for the first time tonight. It'll be the first of 3 pit stops on the day for these truck teams. I'm curious to see what kind of adjustments they get underneath the Zane Smith race truck, because he fired off really fast on the short run. About 15 laps on those green flag tires, he started to fade just a bit. Didn't fade through the running order. He got up to fourth, stayed in fourth with the track position, but interval time dropped off significantly to the leaders as we were getting closer and closer to the end of stage one. Waiting for him to come back from the commercial break. You'll get to listen in to the pit stops for the first time today. And all those reports that we'll get with significant truck drivers trying to contend for the win here tonight. Ben Rhodes having a miserable start of the season. He's picked it up a little bit the last several weeks, at least from where the season started. He's actually finishing races now, but yeah, the speed's definitely not there. And here we go. Pit road's open.
Way down the bottom, picks up 1 point. They're coming your way, Amanda.
Well, Daniel Dye has a new spotter in his ear this weekend. He's actually familiar with them from ARCA. Joe White on the call came in saying that he was loose on the throttle in 1 and 2. They will make adjustments there, and you look at the 91 of Zane Smith. They said that the truck was free, requesting rear grip, but I talked to John.
And for the 19 of Christian Eckes, said that truck got tight towards the end of that run, but he feels like the track is changing as well. No adjustments, just 4 tires and fuel. For the 7 of Kyle Busch, said it's an overall lack of grip. Felt like that thing was sliding around on him, but still able to get the stage win, Jamie.
All right, so interesting. Christian Eckes, no adjustments there. Kyle Busch, hard to tell if he just made an air pressure adjustment. All right, the 43 here. Take a look at the right front.
Just looked like it wouldn't come off. Maybe it didn't drop out far enough, Michael. Watch. See him try to pull it and try to pull it. He doesn't go back to the wrench. I think he's waiting for the shock to drop far enough for that tire to come off, and that's going to cost him a bunch of positions.
Yeah, he was 6th position when he came to pit road. He's going to be outside the top 10.
Tough break for Daniel Dye. Been talking about how well he's been running. Beautiful truck. How about that?
Whoa.
Opening ceremonies. That little guy likes it. Stay with us from Texas.
All right, we got a commercial break right now during the stage end. Again, Kyle Busch is currently your race leader. Christian Eckes sits in second. Nick Sanchez third. Lane Riggs fourth following the pit stops. Grant Enfinger is in fifth. Sixth place for Corey Heim. Taylor Gray seventh. Matt Crafton eighth. Chase Purdy ninth. Ty Majeski rounds out the top 10. And 11th is Stephen Parsons. Tanner Gray 12th. Wallace Allen 13th. Bailey Curry 14th. Matt Mills 15th, Zane Smith 16th, Dean Thompson 17th, Stuart Friesen 18th, Daniel Dye 19th, and Johnny Sauter is 20th. Jake Garcia 21st, 22nd for Ben Rhodes, Connor Jones 23rd, Timmy Hill 24th, Ty Dillon 25th, Mason Massey is 26th, Brett Holmes 27th is the last truck on the lead lap, Spencer Boyd first truck a lap down at 28th, Chris Wright 29th, Raja Kruth is 30th. Keith McGee 31st, Thad Moffitt 32nd, Memphis Villarreal and 33rd, Tyler Ankrum will finish last and 34th. Again, those last 3 drivers DNF'd on the lap 2 incidents. 2 cautions for incident in stage 1. Stage end, again, our 3rd caution of the race, and that is where we're at right now, just beyond the stage 1 break at lap 40. We'll take our first ad break of the stream. You're listening live on KRC to the SpeedyCash.com 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Texas. Gotta keep an eye out. See how things are going to end up going here. We begin stage 2 shortly. Keep an eye out on the poll and the chat specifically. Again, you have until the end of stage 2 to vote for who you think is going to win this Truck Series race tonight. 50% of you saying Kyle Busch. My pick was Nick Sanchez. And he led some laps out of the poll at the beginning. Finished 3rd at the end of stage 1. But Kyle Busch definitely looks like the early one to beat after winning the first stage. And again, he was your guys' vote. Other at 12%, 17% say Nick Sanchez, 21% say Christian Eckes. Of the 4 possible options you can vote between. Yeah, bad pit stop for Zane Smith for sure. Went in 4th, came out 9th, lost 5 positions. Top 3 remain in the same order they went into the pits in. Alrighty. I'd imagine they've probably gotten the 1-to-go signal right now. It should be getting pretty close to the race.
Kyle Busch, Christian Eckes will restart on the front row. Eckes has led 21 laps, Sanchez 16, and Kyle Busch 8 laps and counting. As we gear up for another restart here. Kyle Busch has certainly been the man at Texas. Stay off each other.
4 wide back there in the middle of the backstretch.
What a mess.
Kyle Busch, Corey Heim. Look at this battle side by side behind him. Nick Sanchez and Christian Eckes.
Look at that move Craftsman makes. Shoots between those trucks. That was awesome. That squeezed him up inside the top 10.
4 wide.
Ben Rhodes, haven't talked much about him tonight.
He had a tough practice today, Jamie. Not a lot of speed in that truck, but seems to be rallying. Track's changing, you know, it's darker, it's cooler. It could come to him.
Ben Rhodes now up to the 13th spot in that 99 truck. Next to his
What about
teammate,
this?
Connor Jones. Look at this. Corey Heim, the great pit stop. Now we can see what he has in that race truck. He battles Kyle Busch here for the lead.
He stuck it in on the outside, Phil, in turns 1 and 2 and almost grabbed the lead. That's a great move.
What a battle between these 4. This is exciting.
That outside's only going to get better, too, down in 1 and 2. Great 4-truck battle right now for the lead.
Got 3 young truck racers taking on Kyle Busch.
Corey Heim has just been so impressive. Top 10 every single race this year. He's the most consistent driver in the field. Last year was the same story. Then he gets a dose of Kyle Busch and to go head-to-head with him. I know Corey embraces that.
Remember in the opening I said, what happened to Kyle Busch? Corey, Christian, Nick, Taylor. That's what's happened to Kyle Busch. Look at these guys all over him. But he's the king right now. Can he hold on?
And remember, some of these drivers, the 2 immediately behind him, both drove for him. He's trained these guys.
And he's still training. You see him down on pit road helping Raja Caruth. Anybody that comes up and wants to know how they can be better, he's there for them.
Nick Sanchez as well. Remember from Rev Racing, they had an alliance with KBM last year.
This is the battle back for 17. Stuart Friesen shuffled back there, and Chase Purdy talked about his great finish last weekend in 3rd at Martinsville. Finished 2nd here a year ago. He's very optimistic about this race. He's got some work to do, though, back in 18th. I love this, racing all over the track. These 2, they can't shake each other.
Battle for 3rd. Sanchez is going to try to grab that from Christian Eckes. He has him cleared off turn 4.
Sanchez in the 2 truck got the win at Daytona. Christian Eckes picked up the wins at Bristol and last week again at Martinsville.
Can't shake Taylor Gray as well.
That's right. He's right there.
Taylor Gray, it's not a matter of if he's going to win it. It's just when he's going to get to victory lane this year.
The same way about Ty Gibbs and Cup. You know, there's some guys they just show you week in and week out. This is Raja. He's in the free pass position right now, so if the caution were to fly, he would be the get back on the lead lap. A couple of trucks ahead of him, though, that are on the lead lap really slow. That he needs that caution quickly is my point.
Raja Caruth, they come down on lap 43, but they just pulled some fenders, took a look at it. They can't afford to take more tires, so he's got to hang on to it, take care of those tires to the end of this stage.
He's run some pretty decent lap times, though, so he should be okay. Chris Wright is the truck behind him, 1 lap down, and Chris Wright just ran a fast lap as well.
He's got damage, too, on that 1 truck. So talk about not getting to race very often and get out there and get your legs under you. Chris Wright's doing a nice job, too. There you see that 1 truck. All that damage, all been up on the sides, but he's able to keep pace with Raja just ahead of him there.
Love that red, white, and blue paint scheme. They had to work on that truck. The first caution that came out damaged 4 trucks. He was one of them, but he's able to continue.
See him again next week at Talladega and Arca Menards Series race. Main race, the 38, trying to size up the 9 of Brandon Baker. It's a battle for the 8th position.
Nick Sanchez ran in that 3rd position, a couple of 3/10 faster than Corey Heim last time by, and I'm keeping my eye on that 2 truck. I really think that he's got the truck that he can contend for this win with.
Lane Riggs, first time here in a truck, not 38. Nice young team around him. Sure, many of them were there when Zane Smith was there and won the championship in 22.
Just during our practice show that he ran the Xfinity race here last year. He said, but I ran 2 laps and then crashed in practice.
Hard to learn anything when you're not finishing the laps, right?
Whoa, Johnny Sauter really close to catching Connor Jones, and Stephen Parsons gets up under Connor Jones.
All back there battling for that 15th spot.
Really hard to hold your truck down when you got one right on your side like that. Matt Craftsman down low. Wow. We talk about battling all over the racetrack. We've got it here, the trucks in Texas.
Craftsman had just picked up a couple spots, made it into the top 10. Now he's shuffled back to 14th just like that. There is great action all over the racetrack. Kyle Busch continues to lead over Corey Heim. Stay with us. We're going side by side.
Side-by-side Truck Series commercial here. Lap 58 of 167. Almost 100 to go as we're in the middle portion of stage 2. Kyle Busch with a 1 second race lead over Corey Heim in 2nd. Nick Sanchez is 1.4 seconds off the lead in 3rd. Christian Eckes has fallen to 4th on the race start to 1.8 seconds off the lead. And Taylor Gray rounds out the top 5. He's 2.5 seconds back. We'll take another ad break here. You're listening live on KRC to the SpeedyCash.com 250 at Texas Motor Speedway for the NASCAR. Welcome into the stream as well. Kyle Busch giving away his secrets by being out ahead of the field? Maybe. Maybe. I guess with SMT data, you can kind of look at everything nowadays, so there's really no secrets anymore, I guess. Everything's exploited. But just because one driver like Kyle Busch, who is, as a couple of you guys have already said, and I'll agree with you, the greatest Truck Series driver ever, is doing, doesn't mean that every ability to be able to wheel a race truck around Texas Motor Speedway the way he does. 2.5 lead now, a little over a tenth, almost 2 tenths quicker. That last lap was Busch. We'll see how it goes, though. Long race, I mean, obviously he can lose it on pit road. It took him a while just to go from the 4th starting spot to the lead. It took him almost 40 laps to get there. So although he seems like the fastest truck in the field when he has gotten out in front, it's very easy to lose that track position. Corey Heim fired off well in that last restart. Had to pass a couple trucks of his own. Got alongside Kyle Busch on multiple occasions. Couldn't complete the pass. And now as the run carries longer and longer, Busch is running some fast lap times. And that last lap, Kyle Busch was 3 tenths faster than the next fastest truck of Corey Heim. 30.054 for Busch that last lap. 30.315, second fastest truck on field for Corey Heim at 2nd. So Busch is really starting to get away with it here. And we are going to get another caution, at least guaranteed, with the Stage 2N. And 2 more pit stops yet to go here today as well. Going to pit at the end of this stage, and then we'll have pit stops at some point during the final stage because they can't make it on fuel. Now nearly Kyle Busch over Corey Heim. Just growing it a couple tenths a second faster a lap here for Kyle Busch. Yeah, Craftsman lost some spots right before that last commercial break in 18th. About to lose another one, potentially. Got a truck slipping underneath them in the middle of turns 1 and 2. They're not going to stay side by side, though, so Craftsman hangs on to 18th for now. Shout out to Dan Rosai, holding on to a top 10 position right now in 7th. Usually he qualifies well, kind of slips back as the race goes on. Obviously, a long way still to go, but he's holding himself still in the top 10, scoring quite a few stage points today. He was on the outside of the cutoff line coming into this one, so much needed points for him. And Roger Cruz still remains in the free pass position for now, trying to stay there to the end of the stage. It's going to be difficult, though, as we run this stage, potentially green flag all the way through. Could be in danger of Kyle Busch lapping more trucks than we did in stage 1 when we had a couple cautions in there, which gave less time to get to the back of the field and into lap traffic. So that could be a detriment to Carruth, who's just trying to find his way through this race after a rough starting spot, falling a lap down because of the spin that he had bringing out the second caution. and hasn't been able to fight his way to the free pass position in the only other caution since, which was the Stage 1 end. Stage 2 so far has gone caution-free. And Kyle Busch, again, still faster. Actually seen, looks like 0.8 of a second of Kyle Busch's fall off. I believe Busch has ran the fastest lap of the race today at 29.538 back on lap 11. The only other 29.5 I've seen was Sanchez on the same lap, ran at 29.588. Just a little bit behind that. So Kyle Busch has the fastest short run truck and maybe the fastest long run truck. That's dangerous. On top of that, he's the only Cup Series champion in the field tonight, so that doesn't help him either. Help the rest of the field either. It helps him out. Pretty good run for Busch, though. He got the win at Atlanta, and even though he didn't win the next two races, finished second, very close second, I should say, to Christian Eckes at Bristol just a couple weeks ago. And here he is tonight. He could end up getting 3 top 2s in the 4 starts. Had a pit penalty at Las Vegas at his home track, relegating him to a 15th place finish that night. Johnny Sauter's a man on the move here today, quietly inside the top 10, running 10th place after starting in 16th. Actually fell to 20th on that initial start and a couple restarts after the fact, so he's gained 10 positions in the running order over the last 30 laps or so. Former Truck Series champion in the field for Sauter, and see how much more he'll be able to progress forward here in this very short race. Another full-screen commercial break on FS1. We'll stay right here with the live commentary coverage. 58 likes on the stream. Kyle Busch dominating the race. It just got boring. Well, I'm doing the best I can, at least, giving you guys live commentary. There really isn't much to talk about. Kyle Busch sneaking the show up. There has been some battles during the middle of this pack inside the top 10 that have still been going on since the restart. It's kind of strung out a little bit now. Battle for 7th, I was just about to say going on. I was looking at the intervals in the top 10 that looked to be the closest battle. Lane Riggs just passed Daniel Dye for 7th during this commercial break. And Zane Smith, who lost 5 positions on pit road, going from 4th to 9th. 4th at the end of stage 1. 9th on the last restart, has gone to 6th, so he's gained a few spots there. Riggs actually had a faster lap time than Smith the last lap, and Riggs, after getting to 7th, we'll see if he can run down Zane to get up to 6th place. Riggs right where he qualified in that 7th place position. And Ben Rhodes up to 11th as well after restarting 18th. 7 spots gained there for Ben. Ty Majeski has struggled for ThorSport Racing tonight as well. ThorSport Racing in general, their highest running truck is Rhodes at 11th. None of those 5 trucks in the field today for ThorSport Racing are in the top 10. Lane Riggs, the highest running Ford, again in 7th. Got a Chevy, Toyota, 2 Chevys, and another Toyota in the top 5. Then a Chevy, Ford, and 3 Chevys rounding out the top 10. Pass for 3rd, also during the commercial break. Christian Eckes moving up a spot past Corey Heim. Heim actually has gone from 2nd to 4th during this commercial break. Didn't realize Nick Sanchez also passed him. So Sanchez to 2nd, Eckes to 3rd, and Heim falls to 4th. Last lap, Heim ran a 31.271. That's slower than every other driver inside the top 10. So I don't know if he had a hiccup there or that truck is struggling that much on the long run. He picked up the next lap to a 30.491, which was 0.8 quicker than the lap he just ran. So definitely had a hiccup of some sort that costed him 2 positions. I wonder if Sanchez caught him and battled him for that 2nd place spot. Heim maybe got up out of the groove. We'll have to wait to see if we get a replay of that.
NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Racing live from Texas. Michael Waltrip, Bill Parsons, Jamie Lowell with you. Josh Sims and Amanda Busick on pit road. Stage number 2 winds down here, about 6 laps to go. Kyle Busch continues to lead. He's now led the most laps tonight.
See, Matt Mills here going the lap down. Mason Massey already had, just give you an update on Roger Caruth. He will not get the free pass if we stay green here. So his troubles continue.
Slip back to the 8th spot, and Daniel Dye, we showed on his pit stop, he had a problem changing the right front. Just Took a little bit of time getting it off. That cost him quite a few spots. He restarted 12th, and he worked his way up to 6th, I believe, and now lost a couple spots. But a nice comeback. Just shows how strong that truck is.
Exactly. A few laps ago, we saw that blue truck right in front of him pass Daniel on the outside down at 1 and 2. So that's Lane Briggs. He has a good truck as well. Right now running 7th.
And he's making moves. You can see he's way faster right now than Zane Smith. He's going to swing to the inside. We know this kid has the talent to do just what he's doing here tonight. Really fast in his races he got to run in last year. Just a bunch of bad luck. Talked to him earlier today. He said, we just haven't put a race together, but we've done enough to where we know we can. And he's doing it tonight.
Zane's very familiar with that truck as well. He drove that truck for...
That has to be a little strange, right?
Exactly.
Like, I know that. Those are my boys. His longtime race engineer, Dylan Capello, is actually the crew chief now. As Chris Lawson, the crew chief from the last few years on this truck, moved up to the Cup Series. He's working with Justin Haley. But he's still on board with this team. He still sits in the pit box, still advises this team. So, some familiar voices over there. But Zane Smith, Hilgeman Racing, McAnally Hilgeman Racing this year. Part-time, of course.
That truck just in front of him put him on the map. And for that ride, we wouldn't be talking about Zane Smith.
2 laps to go in stage number 2. Let's get an update quickly on Johnny Sauter.
Talk about Johnny Sauter coming back here to the Craftsman Truck Series. This is the second time that we've seen him this season. I asked the 2016 champ what it's like to come in here with a reputation of knowing that you're one to beat. He said, well, I'm just out here to perform. I don't care what anyone thinks. This is Johnny's 27th start here at Texas. And when you know that there's 50 total races in the Craftsman Truck Series at Texas, that's a pretty cool stat.
Really cool stat. Love to see it. And he's running 10th right now. So great truck. We'll see what he can do here as we're rounding out the final lap here of stage number 2. Kyle Busch won stage 1. And it looks like, guys, he's going to get stage number 2.
Coming to that.
And he does. Officially, Kyle Busch, Nick Sanchez, Christian Eckes, Corey Heim, and Taylor Gray round out the top 5.
And Michael and I have been watching the scoring monitor, and that Nick Sanchez, once he grabs second spot, has been fast.
Yeah, he's running a lap time a couple of tenths faster than Kyle. Kyle must have got a radio report from the team saying.
Yeah, I would imagine that the last couple laps, Sanchez had closed the gap on Busch. Was Busch just kind of managing that gap, considering he had a pretty substantial lead there late in the stage. So Kyle Busch goes on to sweep the stages tonight at Texas Motor Speedway, winning stage 1 and stage 2. Second in stage 2 goes to the 2 truck of Nick Sanchez, who finishes 3rd and 2nd. So good stage points for Nick. Christian Eckes also finishing 2nd and 3rd in the stages, 3rd in stage 2. Corey Heim finishes 4th. Taylor Gray rounds out the top 5. Lane Riggs in 6th. Zane Smith 7th. Daniel Dye 8th. Grant Enfinger 9th. Johnny Sauter rounds out the top 10. So those are all the drivers receiving stage points here, again, at the end of stage 2 tonight. Almost halfway in this one. Be sure to hit the like button again if you guys haven't done so yet. We're over halfway to our goal of 100 likes on the stream. We are currently sitting at 59 likes, so definitely smash that like button, and we try to get to our goal of our first of 4 streams this weekend. Also close the poll now that we're at the end of stage 2. 70 votes for 10% of those votes, 18% for Nick Sanchez, and 11% for somebody other than those 3. Mark DeMars, thanks for tuning in, watching the stream while playing Minecraft. Pretty much just the day for me. Well, hey, appreciate you still tuning in. Michael Turner, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Craftsman definitely has a loose truck. Part of why he was losing so many positions there, I think, late in this stage. Fell back to 17th. I think he was in the top 10 on the restart. What was he, like 9th? And Ty Majeski actually got around roads late in the stage for 11th to be the highest running Thor Sport racing truck. And Lane Riggs did get by Zane Smith in the closing laps of that last stage as well. I mentioned his lap times were quicker, and he was able to catch him. So Riggs moving up to 6th place. We'll see how high up in the running order he can finish. And can anybody dethrone Kyle Busch here tonight? Pit stops may be the way to do it. We've got 2 more guaranteed, but the next one's coming up here during the stage break. Now that we are at the end of stage 2, we got the traditional stage 2 diecast showing off my 124 scale diecast collection. Today we've got the scheme was famous in the truck series. Driver, maybe not so much, but you guys all know him. You probably love him as well. Kenny Wallace, number 55 Square D Chevrolet. This is from the 2000 season. This is one of the older die casts that I have. But 2000 Kenny Wallace Square D. I believe this was Indy. This truck or this car, excuse me. Bobby Hamilton ran a very similar paint scheme in this very car. In fact, actually won at Talladega with this car. He was the successor, I guess, to Kenny Wallace when he left the team. And obviously, you know, Bobby Hamilton, a former truck champion. So wanted to show this diecast off. I've shown it off before. Definitely one of my favorites. Love the blue and yellow schemes.
On that last pit stop, they had an issue with the shock bleed that might happen here as well. Daniel asked if there was anything that they could do. As you see, it's taking a little time there. They said, we'll just have to wait it out. And then with Zane Smith still loose on that truck, Josh.
For the new 2 of Nick Sanchez, he said that truck fired up a lot less free this last run. Doesn't want to make too many adjustments because the way the track is changing. And for Kyle Busch, lacking grip early in the race, so the truck was much better during this last run. He said keep the adjustments minimal, Jamie.
What I heard is Kyle Busch, Nick Sanchez, happy with the truck. Don't make any changes. This is going to be fun.
Another great pit stop by Taylor Gray's guys. 3 spots.
Yeah, 3 positions gained for Gray, going from 5th to 2nd. He was the biggest mover of those in the top 5, and looks like Kyle Busch won the race off of pit road once again, so he'll maintain as the race leader. He's led the most laps. He's won the first 2 stages, now led every lap of stage number 2. Yep, no caution-free race as well in 02 for Bobby Hamilton. That is correct. A spring Dega race. Yep, and that is correct also. Johnny Sauter is part-time, so he is not running for the playoffs. I don't even think the 45 truck has started every race this year. I think they have. But they might not have at the same time. I don't know if that's just a team that only runs some of the races. I'd imagine they'll try to run all of them. I know they've had Chastain in that truck a couple times this year. Actually, no, Chastain's been in the... has he been in the 45? I think he's been in the 42 when he started truck races this season. I don't think he's been in the 45. He was in the 45 when he ran full-time in the truck series a couple seasons ago, but... Was that back in 2020? No, 2019 he ran for the championship that year. Got a couple wins. It was at that time the Watermelon Man story had begun. Now I'd say he's one of the fan favorites today. You either love him or you hate him, I feel like, if you're a fan. You hate him if he's a guy that's gotten into one of your favorite drivers, and you love him if he's not one of or has not ran into one of your favorite drivers, I guess. Hard to pick out the ones he hasn't, though, at this point. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight. Late night stream, 8:30 Eastern time. Just past 8:30 local time at the Texas Motor Speedway. 45 has started all the races. Let's see who got the free pass there. 15 truck of Tanner Gray had actually received the free pass at the end of stage 2. So Gray is now back at the lead lap. Only 24 trucks to begin on the lead lap for this final stage, as we are just past halfway tonight. Once again, be sure to hit that like button so we can get to that goal of 100 likes on the stream. I know I repeat myself a lot. Just really want to get to that goal here tonight again. 61 likes so far. And I'm going to see how many subscribers we're at right now, because we came into the stream just 9 shy of 5,000. We're still at 9 shy. So if you are new and you're watching, appreciate you tuning in, but be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. We'll have NASCAR content for you all race weekend long. And not only every NASCAR race weekend for the Truck Xfinity Cup Series races, but as well as Cup practice and qualifying. So late night tonight, but we'll be live still tomorrow morning, about 13 hours from now, for Cup Series practice and qualifying at Texas Motor Speedway, followed by our Xfinity Series race coverage right after. So doubleheader for streaming tomorrow. Kyle Busch on the inside of row one will lead the field to begin. Will lead the field to the green as we begin stage 3. Got tongue-tied there for a second. Nobody pulling out a line to go 3 wide in the top 10. Just outside of it, though, a couple trucks nearly making contact. I think Ben Rhodes got pinched up by Johnny Sauter. Eckes, speaking of pinched up, gets wide. Almost gets into Tanner Gray. Gray now getting a push from behind by the 2 truck of Nick Sanchez. Door-to-door tightly for second into turns 3 and 4. Corey Heim got underneath the 19 of Eckes, who went wide in the first turn. Can't clear him yet off turn 4. Going to get some help from behind, though, on the front stretch. Sanchez gave him a push into the dog leg. Sanchez running very wide, getting his way through the corner, just trying to find as much clean air as possible. The 19 truck, though, still in front of him, driving the same lane as the battle for second on back continues on. Busch getting out to an early lead. Sanchez jockeyed for position for third with Heim after Eckes wins the race for second for now. Corey Heim faded on the long run towards the end of that last stage. Got some spots back on this restart, though, and trying to battle back for a podium finish. Ty Majeski breaking into the top 10 for the first time today, up to 8th, battling Zane Smith. Door-to-door, also for position, is Sanchez and Taylor Gray for 4th. Sanchez on the outside of Gray. Mid-corner, Enfinger Riggs also nearly side-by-side just behind him. Eckes catching Kyle Busch at the front of the field. Took a big swing at it in turns 1 and 2. Overdrove the entry of the corner just a bit. Gave up quite a bit in the middle. Getting some of that back in the draft on the backstretch. 3 wide move into 3 for Zane Smith. Squeezed Majeski in the middle. He got out of the gas quickly as soon as he saw the 9 truck underneath him. He knew 3 wide in Texas wasn't going to work. Smart veteran move by Majeski. He falls to 9th as a result of that. It's a bold move there by Zane Smith trying to get that spot back on Riggs after Riggs had just passed him a couple laps ago for 7th. And now Daniel Dye catches Majeski after Majeski had that big lift in turns 1 and 2. So now it's a battle for 9th between these 2 trucks. Dye dancing around quite a bit on the bottom groove, nearly making contact as he gets pinched by the 98 truck. They definitely don't give a lot of room side by side, so when a truck gets a little loose like that from Daniel Dye, just gotta hope they don't slide into each other making contact again. Dye getting all over the place. This time it's Majeski who has to lift as he gets up out of line. They may have made contact that time, though. Has a drastic lift out of the throttle by Majeski. And he falls out of the top 10 as Sauter gets around him. Another spot loss for him. Sanchez loses a spot, meanwhile, to Taylor Gray after that battle for 4th is done. So Gray holds on to 4th. Ben Rhodes side by side with Stuart Friesen. Also just outside the top 10, dueling for 12th. Rhodes' teammate Matt Crafton back in it. 5 positions gained for Crafton since the end of stage 2, where he was 18th, now up to 13th. Make that 14th. 4 spots gained. He's right behind Rhodes in 13th. Corey Heim to 2nd, gets by Eckes. Again, we saw Heim fire off pretty good on that last run. He got side by side with Busch a couple times battling for the lead. Couldn't pass him, and then later in the stage just started to lose more positions. Ended up 4th. So he's battled to 2nd. He stays in the outside groove another corner through 1 and 2. Eckes can't quite get underneath him there. Heim's still about 7/10 of a second behind Busch at the front of the field. Just trying to get themselves in the best running position possible in case we get another late race restart to have a chance to duel Busch for the race win. Pretty tight battle 2nd through 4th, though. They're all pretty much within about 3 to 4 truck lengths combined. Late block on a defensive line into 3 by Heim. Slides up the hill just a little bit off the exit of turn 4. Rounding the corner off better was Eckes in 3rd right behind him. And Gray equally as good behind the 19 truck also. I guess maybe a little tight through 1 and 2 that time. It seemed like he shoved up the racetrack just a bit more. Still holds on to the race truck enough to hold on to his positioning. And Nick Sanchez about to make this a 4-truck battle for second all of a sudden as Busch again is still getting away. Just over a second lead now for Kyle. 70 laps to go this time by at the Texas Motor Speedway. Eckes trying to build a run off turn 2 as he goes a lot wider than the truck in front of him. Same for Sanchez. Blocked down the back straightaway by Taylor Gray. Sanchez will take the outside into 3 and 4. And we'll see if this is going to work for Nick. Should get the run off the exit of the corner, off that progressive banking in 3 and 4. And Sanchez completes the pass, gets back down to single file into 1 and 2. Great job there by Nick Sanchez. Stays in that outer groove again through 1 and 2, and now he's trying to build momentum up to go after the 19 truck of Eckes. Sanchez started on the pole, led the first 21 laps of the race, fell out of the lead, hasn't led since. Only a couple lead changes in this one so far. Dean Thompson on screen battling for, looks like, 19th with Connor Jones. Go through the top 10 in the running order right now. Again, Kyle Busch, your race leader, 9/10 of a second ahead of Corey Hyman second. Christian Eckes, 1.2 seconds off the lead in third. Nick Sanchez, 4th place, 1.5 seconds off the lead. 1.7 seconds back is Taylor Gray in 5th. Zane Smith in 6th is 2.4 seconds back. Lane Riggs, 3.3 seconds off the lead in 7th. Grant Enfinger in 8th, 3.8 seconds off the lead. Daniel Dye, 4.2 seconds back in 9th. And Ty Majeski rounds out the top 10. He's 4.8 seconds back. We'll take an ad break. Again, you're listening live on KRC to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race under the lights at Texas Motor Speedway. Track as wide as Dagon, but they only used 1 groove. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Only can use 1 groove. Although Sanchez worked the outside through 3 and 4, but it's a lot more slippery up there. Sanchez is staying pretty consistent running the top. It looks like he's going to pass Corey Hyman in the same spot, same lane. This time it's through 1 and 2 where he completes the pass. He started the pass at 3 and 4, but couldn't complete it like he did in 1 corner on Gray. But a little less than a lap overall. Sanchez moves up. Eckes saw that. He moves up a groove now to the outside through 3 and 4. Sanchez goes right back to the bottom to get the clean air. And Nick Sanchez trying to put down some lap times as he tries to move himself up in the running order. Lap time-wise, he's really the only one that's competing with Kyle Busch to this point in this run to begin the final stage. That last lap for Sanchez was a 30.1 flat, a 30.044 for Busch, and even Eckes that last lap was a 30.058. He's just not as consistent as the 2 and the 7 lap after lap running a lap time that quick. I will say, though, that last lap, Eckes was on the outside and ran that lap time, so maybe he found something there. Still 24 trucks on the lead lap. I believe lap traffic is going to be caught here very shortly by those leaders. We'll see how thoroughly Busch, Eckes, Sanchez are going to be to try to work their way through that lap traffic, and maybe that could tighten the gap, maybe widen it out just a little bit more. We'll have to wait and see. I would imagine the lap truck's going to stay to the outside, but it's still a matter of where exactly you catch them. Catch them right off the exit of the corner. You can't let your truck feed all the way out to the wall. That becomes a problem. And getting into the corner, if you have to flatline the corner a little more to get underneath them as well, that could cost you time. Still have to hope you catch them in the right spots. Daniel Dye practically 100% throttle to this point. The run still through turns 3 and 4. He's going to blip it through 1 and 2, though. Less progressive banking in 1 and 2. They took it out when they reconfigured this track before the start of the 2017 season. 3 and 4 remain the same, but obviously with the repave still primarily 1 groove, although it is widened out a little bit with bumps in the bottom groove through 3 and 4, and that's why you've seen A little bit of passing in the middle of the pack here today, but still out of the mile-and-a-half tracks, the toughest to make a pass on. And we'll see that struggle again throughout the course of this weekend. That's why qualifying is important. You look at the drivers who are all at the front of the field right now. Kyle Busch started 4th. He's in the lead. Christian Eckes started top 5. He's in 2nd. Sanchez on the pole is 3rd. So, definitely seemed like you have to qualify well to finish well. And the top 3 you see on the screen right now are also the top 3 that have been the entire night. Busch won the first 2 stages. Eckes and Sanchez both split for 2nd and 3rd in their respective stages and stage finishes. Just repassed Johnny Sauter also during that last commercial break to get back into the top 10. Sauter falls to 11 just ahead of Friesen. And Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton slipping back a little bit more again to 13th and 14th. Little Thor Sport Racing update there. 60 to go. The Texas Motor Speedway. 300-mile race for the Xfinity Series tomorrow and a 400-mile race for the Cup Series on Sunday. Our Cup Series action begins, though, tomorrow morning on the channel with our practice and qualifying session. Wake up early and tune in for some NASCAR coverage again tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Our 3rd consecutive weekend with a morning stream with NASCAR qualifying and/or practice, and the Xfinity race will be soon thereafter at 1:30 Eastern Time tomorrow afternoon, so again, a doubleheader. 10:30 a.m. Eastern for Cup practice qualifying on the same stream as they run back-to-back, and then again, Xfinity coverage at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow afternoon. And our Cup Series race on Sunday will begin at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on that day. All the weekend's events on Fox Sports 1, so Cup race again on FS1 this weekend as well. 68 likes on the stream. We're still 32 away from our goal, so again, be sure to hit that like button. Still one more pit stop to go through yet today. Remember, green flag pit stops at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Kyle Busch had a pit road penalty. That could happen again. This is not a lock. Looks like Lane Riggs will be the first driver on the pit road for his green flag stop.
There's Stephen Parsons in the trophy tractor truck. That's fun to say. We've got a tire issue.
You nailed it, Mikey.
Lane Riggs with a tire issue, a fast truck. We talked all night about him putting a race together. Darn it. He's got problems here again. This is his last set of tires. Now, he can elect to put tires back on if he wants to, but this is his last set of tires. 2 set of tires that he has. Again, we're just barely outside our pit window. Barely. So he was going to need some caution laps, I think, to be able to make it. Everyone said 50 to 55, maybe on the outside. As you can see, we have 56 laps.
All right, so as soon as that window opens, we may see some drivers pit. If they look to try to split this final stage in about half, then we'd see drivers pit with about 40 laps to go, which would be 15 laps away from now. And then again, about 50 to 55 laps on a full fuel run here. So we'll see drivers try to stretch this out to about 20 to 30 to go before we see the last of them pit. Maybe some drivers at the tail end of the lead lap try to stay out, catch a caution, trap a lot of trucks a lap down, get a better finish for themselves, and maybe even an off-putting chance at the win under the right circumstances with some late race restarts and some strategy play. Busch still navigating through the lap trucks as Nick Sanchez navigates his way by the 19 of Eckes for second. So Sanchez completes the pass. He's still only 1.1 seconds off the lead in that last lap. Nick Sanchez was quite a bit quicker than Kyle Busch. About a half a second quicker. I think that was a result Busch maybe catching a lap truck or two in a worse spot. There's a lot of heavy traffic ahead of Busch right now. He's getting through it pretty quickly, though, for the most part. It looks like there's a few lap trucks between the top two. Crossover now by Eckes off turn 2 on the backstretch. Swings by Sanchez. Great little battle for second going on right now at Texas. Eckes and Sanchez swinging back and forth. Sanchez cleared him last lap through 3 and 4 for second. This lap, it's Eckes getting second place right back. Side-by-side lap traffic in front of both of them. And as that battle continues, go to a full-screen commercial break. They're just about to get through some significantly heavy lap traffic. That was a bad timing for a commercial. I guess they had to get it at some point, though. Should see green flag pit stops coming up shortly, though, if we continue to stay green through this final stage. We have not had a caution since the middle of stage 1. Lap 11 was the last caution per incident. Raja Karuth's spin. 2 stage breaks since then were the only other 2 yellows, sitting at 4 cautions total in this race. Busch definitely getting through the lap traffic a lot better than Eckes and Sanchez. Between that and those two battling as hard as they are for second, Busch is running away with it here in the middle going of stage 3. Just over a 3-second lead now for Busch. It was about a little over 1 second just a few laps ago. And again, pit stop should be coming up here very shortly. They come back from the commercial break. 20 trucks on the lead lap now. Wallace Allen, the first 1 lap down for the moment. Busch is picking them up and putting them down. Now the lead's back down to 1.2 seconds again, with 50 laps to go. So Busch got out to a 3-second lead. Now it's back down to 1.2. Again, it's just where you catch the lap trucks. And there were so many in front of Eckes and Sanchez, too. They probably finally got around him, get some clean laps together. And they're starting to run Kyle Busch back down in traffic once again. Kind of a game of leapfrog at this point. 69 likes. Be sure to hit that like button again if you guys haven't done so yet. The goal is to get to 149 laps away. And also subscribe so we can get to 5,000 subs on the channel potentially tonight. We were only 9 away coming into the stream. I'm going to have to try to log back into my YouTube studio again here. And we're still at 9. We are still at 9. They're back from the commercial break.
Cash.com 250 as Kyle Busch continues to lead here at Texas Motor Speedway. Well, he's lapped up to 19th position. Brett Holmes next up for Kyle Busch.
We saw Lane Riggs on and off pit road, got around Kyle Busch, and here comes Chase Purdy. Mentioned pit stops are getting ready to happen. Chase on the lead lap. He's coming in.
The battle for third, left side of our screen. Corey Heim, the 11, Sanchez in the 2. Corey Heim just will not go away. We talk about Eckes and we talk about Sanchez, and here's Corey Heim racing with him as we see Daniel Dye coming in, Amanda.
Well, all night he's been battling a loose truck, just reported to the team that now he's too tight. It will be last-minute adjustments before they get back on the track for the finish of the stage.
Trouble on that right front again. Just that tire just doesn't want to come off. It causes them some problems each stop, Josh.
And the two of Nick Sanchez coming into pit now. They worked on that truck all night long. The report early on in the race, it was free. They worked on it, got better. Now they're hoping they have the final pit stop to put them in contention for the win.
And Josh, these are the money stops. You can't afford a speeding penalty. You can't afford a problem on pit road.
So Nick Sanchez down on pit road. He's the first of the top 3 or 4 trucks to hit the pits. Grant Enfinger from the top 10 also seems to be in behind him. And as well for Corey Heim now on his way to pit road. Zane Smith is in currently in his box.
Night long, running pit road speed all the way down to his pit box. How frustrating that can be, knowing that pit wait stop is way down yonder. He slides to a stop.
But this pit crew's been on it tonight. They picked him up a lot of positions each time down pit road. Let's see if they can help him out here, gain a little bit of time.
98 time when Jesse comes in. I think we see 4 tires from everybody here. So much time left in this race. See right side tires going on that Thor Sport Ford Road Ranger on the fuel panels. You see him holding the left side tires up. It's going to be 4 tires for Majeski.
And that was a smooth right side as they jack up the left side and go to work. I talked about the money stop. We're getting a report that Chase Purdy was speeding on pit road. Can't have that right now.
Taylor Brain as they work on the right side of that race truck.
We talk about how good that pit crew is week in, week out.
You know, I just love the choreography. The driver has to do his part, stop perfectly, and then that just sets in motion these talented pit stop guys, pit crew members that are former college and pro athletes that go out there and do their job.
Love talking about.
Still waiting for Kyle Busch, the race leader, to hit pit road along with Christian Eckes. I guess Zane Smith's still on the track. I thought I saw him in the pits, but I guess not. So my mistake on that. Another truck on pit road, tail end of the lead lap truck, it looks like.
Guys Roger today. He's a former Tennessee Titan.
Love it.
So I like the Lions. He said, I like the Lions too.
Love telling those stories because they bring these players in, these athletes in from all over the country. They all have different unique stories, how they got to NASCAR. Some were fans, some never been to a race before, and here they are pitting a truck or a race car. So how long does Kyle Busch wait to come in?
Well, we know he can go. He last pitted on lap number 83. He run 43 laps. He can probably go at least another 10 laps. And he may choose to do that. His lap times, he ran a 29.92 that last lap. The tires are not falling off any. So
yeah, and it was kind of predicted. Again, the tires haven't fallen off a whole lot. I would say even less this run, or at least the lap times are a lot closer to the fastest times of the race, even this deep in this green flag run compared to what we saw back in the first stage. Ben Rhodes just making his way off of pit road after a 4-tire stop. Only 6 trucks on the lead lap still. Kyle Busch, Christian Eckes, Zane Smith, Stuart Friesen, Matt Craft, and Connor Jones all have to hit pit road yet. Wait to see if Busch comes down this time. Sanchez right now is first of everybody that has pitted in 11th. There's a few trucks a lap down that also still have to hit pit road. Craft and Friesen on their way in.
Be really conservative. You saw that.
And here comes Kyle Busch.
Pit road speed. He's going to take this truck all the way down pit road to the other end, turn one in, and make his pit stop.
Josh?
And from 7 of Kyle Busch comes in from the lead, led 90 laps so far tonight. That truck has got better all night long, sliding early. They worked on it, got it where they need it, as Kyle Busch is looking for his 6th truck win here in Texas.
Here comes Christian Eckes too, Josh. That's set into motion. Second place, Eckes coming to pit road. You can see nicely controlled down to pit road speed there.
To the lead. Expecting him to make his way down pit road any minute.
Corey Heim working his way through some traffic. We talked about Chase Purdy, that truck getting a penalty on pit road. Look at that big TV screen on the back straightaway. You can see action all over this racetrack.
What do they call that thing?
Big Hoss.
Big Hoss. They were the first to do it here.
There goes Christian Eckes off pit road. Green flag pit stops. Always entertaining for me.
see the 7 go by. That's the difference right now between Kyle Busch, the 7, and Eckes.
Zane Smith, the only truck that still has to hit pit road that is still on the racetrack. It looks like Christian Eckes just came into the pits. Looks like Corey Heim is actually cycled as the second place truck, or the eventual second place truck, to that of Kyle Busch. Caution is going to come out. Wreck off turn 2 for Lane Riggs. Zane Smith was on pit road when the yellow flag waved, so I believe he's going to be the leader here. It looked like he got to the commitment line in time. Have to wait and see.
In his box because he knows the caution is out. He'll get the pit under yellow. Can't take a chance on losing the lap.
And that's going to keep a lot of trucks a lap down. If he would have went ahead and stopped in his pit, took 15 seconds to make the pit stop, that would have put a lot of trucks back on the lead lap. Right now, until the scoring cycles, we're only showing 7 trucks on the lead lap.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting turn of events here.
That's the worst nightmare for teams is most all the teams have pitted, but anytime there's a caution during green flag pit stops, it always mixes things up.
So let's see what happened here.
Did he get up into the shiny stuff? Oh, yeah. Just loose, though. I don't think he's too high, but just lost control. Man, that's so frustrating. We've seen these racers go right on the edge of what looks like treacherous conditions as we look down toward turn 2. How scary that looks.
I hate to say it, but turn 2 has been the star of the show all day. From practice, qualifying, this race tonight, just treacherous has been the word of the day.
The field is cycle 5 now, only showing 9 trucks on the lead lap. We had over 20 trucks on the lead lap before the green flag pit stop started.
Stuart Friesen, the first one, a lap down in 10th.
It's 9 good trucks, though. As you see, the pace truck's in a weird spot. He's trying to get where he's going. There you see our leader, Zane lead lap, because he has
Tim Irvin, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. And yeah, there you go. Caution out. Zane Smith. Don't shave your head and go to work in the sun for 8 hours. That is a very good life advice there. That is a very good advice. 10 super chat on the live stream as well from Tim Urban. Thank you. Little milestone there. I didn't realize it told me how many times it's done, but yeah, I appreciate it. Cautions bring cautions. Well, that could be the case. We've seen green flag pit stops. Still waiting to get things sorted. It might be down to 7 now, it looks like. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, timing and scoring is going to be a little weird here. It's depending on when Zane Smith came off of pit road and how many trucks were on the lead lap at that point when he was able to get back to caution speed. So NASCAR is going through that review currently. And they're not going to be able to take the wave around either when you consider the fact that everybody's already pitted for their last set of tires. So the only way to get your lap back now is to get yourself into the free pass position in case we get any more yellows the rest of the way, which could happen. And then at that point, because there's so few trucks on the lead lap, you get a couple cautions just to get back on the lead lap, and you can end up having a top 5 run still. Have a top 10 run, even if you finish a lap down at this rate. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. 70 likes on the stream. Again, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more NASCAR content so we can get our way on this channel to 5,000 subscribers. See where we are at under the yellow flag. It hasn't updated on my end. It's still showing that I'm 9 short. I don't know if that's actually correct or not still. We've been stuck at 9 the whole night. Even since the start of the stream, but appreciate you if you have hit that so far tonight. I was hoping it would refresh during the course of the live stream. If not, you know, we'll see tomorrow. But hey, the sooner we get there, the better, and you can enjoy that moment.
Cup practice and qualifying. We're up early tomorrow, 10:30 Eastern, I believe.
Yep, I'll be here. We'll be live 10:30 tomorrow morning.
All kinds of content for the fans to soak up. Bruton Smith motto always was, we love what we do for the fans. And that scoreboard, that beautiful TV, is an example of just that. So cool to see that big TV.
Now we're showing 7 trucks on the lead lap, but if we can pan ahead of Kyle Busch, Kyle will be our leader when Zane Smith comes to pit road. All these trucks, starting with Stephen Parsons, will get their wave around. So I think we will eventually have
I was thinking Zane was on pit road when the caution came out, but he must not have pitted.
They're all going to be chasing when it's all said and done. Kyle Busch, you got that right.
So Zane Smith came down pit road. The caution came out. He had to continue. We've been watching him ride right up behind that pace truck and shut it off. You think he's a little concerned about fuel right now?
I think he definitely is. He pitted on lap 83, so it's been only 52 laps, and some of these caution laps, and he's saving fuel. So I think he should be fine till we open pit road.
It's going to update Amanda.
I'm not sure exactly about that from Zane Smith. I'm taking a look at his crew chief right now, Kevin Bellecourt. The tension here is really strong. They needed that pit stop on fuel because they'd already pushed it pretty far. But by the time Zane gets here, they are going to focus on finding that balance between the drag and downforce that's required here at Texas.
Kevin Bellecourt's like, oh my gosh, just hang on. Bring it down. Let's get some tires on it. Go contend for this thing.
Oh, that's him shutting the engine off and cranking it back up. He's wanting the pit road open. NASCAR is going to run another lap before doing so.
You see that line in our scoring file on the left side of your screen, right below Nick Sanchez. Those are the 7 trucks that are on the lead lap.
Right now.
Right now.
That's getting ready to change.
Yeah. When Zane comes to pit road, that will change.
So I'm guessing that when we saw Kevin Bellecourt put his head in his hands, that's when he got the news that they're going to
go one more lap.
Another lap.
Team Realtree. That's a beautiful number 7 truck, and it's been up front all night long. Kyle Busch, as solid and as strong as we expected he would be. He's had a lot of contenders. Corey Haim's been on his bumper. Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez, Taylor Gray. They've all been challenging that truck, but he's turned them all away so far.
So 31 laps to go. At the end of this thing, the winner of tonight's race will celebrate right there, the SpeedyCash.com victory lane. It's beautiful. It's bright. You see the flames there? We're going to have real flames.
Real flames.
They do it up here.
Flames. And guns.
We're going to have guns and cowboy hats.
It's going to be all. Todd Bodine has 6 cowboy hats.
Oh, my gosh. Kyle has 5, and he's trying to make it 6 to tie that record, which would be exciting. We'll see if he can hang on, but how cool if Zane Smith was able to put the SpeedyCash.com truck into the SpeedyCash.com victory lane.
What about those two guys? They got their headsets on hooked together. They can communicate.
Did you see that? They're wearing like shorts and T-shirts. What a difference from a week ago. It was freezing. I think the spotters were saying there were some snow flurries last year. We just talked about it. Todd's record could be in jeopardy.
You think he's in the Charlotte studio sitting on pins and needles, wondering if he's going to be able to keep this record alone? Or
I'm hoping he's at home with the cold one.
Here he comes. Pit road is open. Amanda, here comes Zane Smith.
And I can see a sigh of relief from the team as well. My driver, I want him to come back in here in the truck series and have fun.
Well, it looks like, Amanda, he's doing just that. The team's going to work on that truck. You can see the Napa Auto Park uniforms, the pit crew that's taking care of that 91 truck. You come in the pit road and you got the Napa Auto Care team on your side. You got to feel pretty good about things.
Absolutely.
Good stop for Zane Smith.
All right, 30 laps to go. Still awaiting the green flag. A lengthy caution here after the Lane Riggs accident off turn 2. We're going to have less than 30 to go on the restart in a few laps from now. Kyle Busch is your race leader. A few more drivers got back on the lead lap with Zane Smith having to hit pit road. He must not have gotten to the commitment line for the caution came out, so because of that, just had to maintain pit road speed, not take a pit stop there, and he wouldn't have gotten penalized. But unfortunately, because of that being the case, he will not be the leader on the restart, even though he was the leader when the caution came out. So Kyle Busch, again, is back out in front. Then it'll be Corey Heim, Taylor Gray, Christian Eckes, and Nick Sanchez in the top 5. 6th place is Lawless Allen. Great run for him right now. I don't think he's going to have the speed to stay up there. He's got faster cars on the lead lap behind him. 7th place is Zane Smith after just pinning. Tanner Gray 8th, Grant Enfinger 9th, Ty Majeski 10th, Stuart Friesen in 11th, Daniel Dye in 12th, Johnny Sauter 13th, Dean Chris Wright 19th, Holmes is 28th, Spencer Boyd 29th, Lane Riggs in 30th, Keith McGee 31st, 32nd for Thad Moffitt, Memphis Villarreal. I think Lane Riggs, that was involved in that last incident, is still in the race, at least as of right now, under the caution. Kyle Busch has led 92 laps today. He won the first 2 stages. Can he lead the most important 29 to the finish? We'll have to wait and see. We'll take our final ad break of the stream. You're listening live on KRC, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series live commentary stream from Texas. Joseph C3, thanks for tuning in.
Hocevar got there.
They touch T-Rex! Carson Hocevar wins for the first time in his career. It was a day race last year, and gosh, that racing was so exciting all the way to the very end. And Nick Sanchez, heartbreak for him, led 168 laps from the pole, and it all went down to the wire for him.
Craziness ensued at the end of that race.
All right, so we had 13 waiver rounds. Things are looking more normal, like they were at the start of this third and final stage.
We have 16 trucks now on the lead lap.
And we still have the same pursuers. We got Corey Heim, we got Taylor Gray, Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez, Zane Smith, and Kyle Busch leads them all. But man, this thing's going to be fun.
See Zane Smith after that pit stop now. He'll restart in the 6th position.
Lawless Allen in the top 10, and that's a truck that has just been getting better and better. You see the 33 there. I like the progress I've seen from Lawless. Mike Skinner was down in Martinsville being his driver coach, saw him in the garage area here today, so that's his job to coach this young man. And if you want somebody on your team, you don't want anybody any better than Mike Skinner. He knows a lot about racing these trucks, doesn't he? Didn't he have, what, 3 poles here in a row? One time Mike Skinner 3 or 4 poles in a row here at this racetrack. Shoes and Taylor Gray elected to take the top side. My, how things have changed. Early in the race, everybody wanted the bottom. Now it's 50-50 at least.
Tanner Gray's back there. Tanner, remember, he was one of those that had trouble in practice, went to a backup truck, and he's been digging. Finds himself in the top 10 here.
Hasn't had a very fast truck, but he's used strategy and stayed out during that long run there and got himself back in position to get a top 10 finish. There you see some of the trucks a lap down, making their way through.
I think the aggression level's going to be ticked up just a little bit.
I'm quite nervous, Jake. Very close to 10-10s, I would think.
Yeah, okay.
We've seen this before. There's no give anymore. It's all take. And if you take a little bit too much, you see that shiny part up to the right? I don't like that. It's so easy to get pushed out in that shiny part of the racetrack as well.
Those 3 boys racing around Kyle Busch, they're all here for a championship. They said, move this guy out, let's go for it, let's settle this deal.
Coming green, this is going to be intense.
Kyle Busch says, I'm a 19-time winner here. He owns 19 cowboy hats and guns from winning here. Trying to do it again tonight. 26 laps to go at the line. Kyle Busch, Corey Heim on the outside. His teammate right behind him. Taylor Gray has been so strong. And Christian Eck is all over the bumper of Kyle Busch.
Now with a strong turn 2, he's able to drive out into the lead.
This battle has just been relentless tonight. Look at this.
Watch him fan out here in the backstretch. 3 wide into turn 3.
All the way through the field. Look at Zane Smith split up the racetrack. The 2 at Nick Sanchez on the inside and Corey Heim.
These guys running 2 through 5 need to sort this out so they can pursue Kyle Busch. He's been so strong, as you see Eckes able to eke ahead of Taylor Gray. Here comes Corey Heim ahead of Sanchez. Look at that.
He can stay.
Sanchez is going to stay right in his right rear quarter panel. Pull that truck back.
Wow, this is fun racing. This track is widened out, and we're seeing some great action. Bailey Curry dives into turn 1. He's back in the 17th position, lap down. There you see Zane trying to make work of Nick.
Can't get around him, can't make it stick. Nick Sanchez has been strong.
Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle there.
That's going to be just what Zane Smith do. You see the slipping and sliding off turn 4. Another truck up there sliding around. That's Connor Jones. He got out of the groove. Did a nice job hanging on to that 66 truck.
Back there, battle for 14th, 15th, 16th right there. Johnny Sauter's shown some good potential tonight. Kind of gone from the back to the front. Back now.
You see more lap down trucks mixed in with these lead lap trucks because of the wave around. We had so many trucks taking the wave around.
Johnny Sauter high off turn 4. I think he might have clipped the wall. He got up out of the groove, and you see the rubber, the Goodyear rubbers. Oh, another crash.
Right into the wall. Stuart Friesen. Yellow is out. 6th caution tonight. Stuart Friesen was able, I believe, to keep it off the wall. That new sponsor tonight, looking so good. It was a good run for him.
He was running in the 12th position. Got spun around there. Kept it going. I think
A bit of damage on the left front.
I'm thinking I'm with you, Jamie. Not a lot of damage there.
Darn, man.
That Daniel Dye's brother.
He was bummed about the caution, and then he was like, oh, look at us on camera.
Look at that one truck.
Darn.
Yeah, this is Johnny Sauter. I mentioned getting out of the groove, and watch. Just can't hold onto that truck once you go up there. Minimal damage, though. Johnny does a nice job of just keeping the truck pointed in the right direction, bouncing off the ball.
Instead of slamming on the brakes, just slowing down.
Then here
here's a look at the big crash. Oh, Chris slips up.
Chris Wright gets into Mason Massey. Stuart Friesen just collected in that mess.
There's the big crash.
Look at Friesen right here.
The trophy tractor truck. Stephen Parsons. A couple of trucks squeezes by on the bottom. Let's hop on board with Matt Crafton and see what he sees. These guys did a great job of slipping through this. Let's ride with Crafton as he sees what happens ahead. He saw an opening. I knew he was going to be right on that gas. You got to get out of there.
Now yellow.
Oh boy, another restart.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know how many of these restarts my heart can take. This is just crazy. I was thinking the exact same thing.
I mean, just the racing all over.
It's so good.
From front to the back. Great work by our camera guys.
I mean, it's easy to look and see that Kyle Busch has led 101 laps. His closest pursuers led 22 laps, Christian Eckes. But this thing is not over by a long shot.
It doesn't tell the story either
not.
of how good those trucks have truly been. Been action-packed all night long from Texas Motor Speedway. You got to stay with us. CBN, who goes to victory lane?
Alrighty. Full screen commercial break. Another late race caution or second of the final stage here in these final 35 or so laps. Lap 145 incident, 3 trucks involved. The 1, the 02, and the 52 were the 3. 16 trucks still in the lead lap. They're still scoring Friesen on the lead lap for right now. He was, of course, one of the trucks that was just involved. Backed it into the wall. Kyle Busch, story of the day. I mean, who would have surprised, or who would have thought otherwise, I should say, in this Truck Series race? Kyle Busch has led 101 laps so far. He won the first 2 stages of the race as well. 22 laps led back at stage 1 for Christian Eckes. First 16 laps are led on the pole by Nick Sanchez. 8 laps during green flag pit stops are led by Zane Smith. Those are the only 4 drivers to lead at least 1 lap today. 5 lead changes amongst those 4 different leaders. And this caution is our 6th, and again, the second of the final. Lee in row 1. Behind them, Taylor Gray, Corey Heim, Zane Smith, Nick Sanchez. Right around row 3, obviously depending on the lane choice with the choose rule. Wallace Allen, Tanner Gray, right around the 4th row, and then Grant Enfinger, Daniel Dye in the back half of the top 10 here. So that is what we are looking at for this upcoming restart. And again, a late race caution here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Sit for brains. Thanks for tuning in. 77 likes on the stream. Appreciate it, everybody. Let's try to run that up to 100 here before the end. Again, we're at a little less than 20 laps to go. 19 under caution right now, but a little less than 20 laps left. And we are still 23 likes shy of our goal of 100 likes on the stream to get to 5,000 subscribers. Continue to count this down. Yeah, still showing 9. Still showing 9 away for right now. 49.91. Be sure to hit that subscribe button again if you haven't yet. Free pass went to the 41 truck under the commercial of Bailey Curry. Sauter with damage from making contact with the wall before the caution came out, and Stuart Friesen involved in the caution are still in the lead lap with a little bit of damage. Surprised Friesen was able to hold on to his lap at least. Credit to Wallace Allen for staying in 7th. The restart is 6th, only lost 1 position to Zane Smith. Didn't think he had that fast of a truck to actually stay in the top 10. Made it through 1 restart. He's going to have at least 1 more still to go. Guess Clint Boyer won a truck race in Texas before. I never remember Clint Boyer in a truck in general. That surprises me, to be completely honest. I mean, a pretty successful Cup career, nonetheless, for Boyer. NASCAR career really in the ranks of the top 3 series. But yeah, I don't ever really remember him running in a truck. But I guess he won at Texas 2006. Harvick's, of course, got dozens of truck wins, and he's also a former winner. Of course, he'll be in the booth during the Sunday coverage of the NASCAR Cup Series, as well as tomorrow morning's coverage, practice and qualifying. Once again, if you guys have not done so, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Green flag in the air, 3 wide on the restart. A quick restart here. 3 wide to the bottom for the race lead for Corey Heim. He beat Kyle Busch to the inside lane. Eckes on the outside still. Heim unable to stay underneath the 7 and the 19 as it's a drag race now for the race lead just between 2 trucks. And a big wreck behind him. Grant Enfinger's up against the wall. Matt Crafton's close, and I believe Eckes had the lead at the time of the caution. They'll have to go to the back to the last scoring loop. Depending on the exact map, it looked like getting into turn 3. In the back half of the top 10 because Grant Enfinger was involved. I know Dean Thompson, Matt Crafton were a couple other trucks in it. To wait to see a replay on exactly what transpired here. And again, under caution.
What happened back there?
All right, from the restart.
I think they're going to get through 1 and 2. A lot of action, but no contact. There you see Stephen Parsons squeezing to the bottom. Grant Enfinger on top. Here comes Friesen.
Five just got loose.
What about Matt? Watch Dean Thompson in the 5. Just gets loose, overcorrects it a bit. Stuart Friesen squeezes by. Stephen Parsons, Roger Caruth. There goes, whoa, look at the job Chase Purdy did.
As you mentioned, I think minimal damage for Matt Crafton.
That's been.
Watch Crafton right here. This is such good driving. You talk about the experience. Look what's in his lap. But he's able just to squeeze out of the gas, keep calm, and squeeze through.
And he had a veteran, Johnny Sauter, right behind him that didn't just drive in the back of him.
That's good stuff. Let's look at this one more time from the 88 and Matt Crafton. I mean, how easy it would have been for him to panic and just cut the wheel to the left or lock up the brakes, but that's not Matt Crafton. The veteran knew exactly what he was looking at and exactly what to do.
A little bit of damage, but that's all right. Keep on digging for Matt Crafton.
And guess what's finally happening? Raja Caruth is back on the lead lap. He needed another caution, and he just got it to get himself back on the lead lap and try to contend for a top 10 finish.
Michael, weren't we talking about that about an hour and a half ago? I mean, he hasn't given up.
There's no give up in that young man.
Oh, this has been fun. A lot of damage for Grant Enfinger. Stay with us. Christian Eckes, Kyle Busch, another restart.
All right, so under caution for the 3rd time in the final stage, and all 3 of these final stage cautions have come over the span of about 20 laps or so. Lap 130 was the initial incident in the middle of green flag pit stops for Lane Riggs spinning in turn 2, and we saw calamity in turn 2 again shortly after that restart, and then here in turn 3 on the first lap after the restart. 5 laps separating these last 2 cautions, and 20 laps separating the lap 130 and the lap 150 caution, the 5th and 7th of the day. So again, under the 7th yellow, it looked like Christian Eckes again was the leader when the caution flag came out. He was side by side for the lead with Kyle Busch, and the reason why he was probably side by side for as long as he was is because Corey Heim went to the bottom 3 wide into the first turn, may have made a little bit of contact with Busch, held him up enough that Eckes was able to stay alongside Busch down the backstretch, had just the nose out in front of him through 3 and 4 at the time of the caution. So again, that is where we are at right now, under yellow with less than 15 laps to go. As far as the stream goes, I know there's been some laggy issues. I don't know what it is exactly. We had this periodically last week. It wasn't for every stream, but Looks like we've had that kind of come and go throughout today as well. I will say it could be the weather tonight. It's very, very windy in my area, over 40 mile an hour wind gusts outside. I think it's supposed to kind of increase here over the night as well. So maybe that's some of it today. I don't think, well, yeah, it did rain all last weekend here as well. It was rainy. So I don't know. Maybe that's having to do with the lagginess of the stream the last couple of weeks. I think we were okay on Sunday. Didn't have any issues Sunday. And so, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it is that is causing this because we haven't had any issues with it all season up until last week. So, yeah, periodically kind of coming and going. I tried to turn the camera off to see if that helps at all. It looks like it might have, at least for a bit. I'll try to turn my camera back on again when we get back to the restart, but if there's an issue with it again, I'll just keep it off for right now, and we'll just run the rest of the stream without you getting to see my beautiful face on screen. My screen's off. Yeah, I know. I made that, I was just talking about it. I was in the midst of talking about it as you commented. Got 78 likes on the stream. Be sure to hit that like button if you guys haven't done so yet. We are just 22 likes shy of our goal of 100. So again, be sure to hit the likes and subscribers. We're 8 away now. My YouTube Studio app has updated when we are 8 away. Appreciate that. For each and every one of you 4992 subscribers of the channel and everybody that views on a weekly basis with these live commentary streams. And again, trust me when I say we will get back to the daily streams again at some point in time. I know there hasn't been a timetable for that, and I know I keep saying that, but trust me when I do say that we are gonna have it. We are fine? All right, well, that's good. I don't even know how bad it was before, but I figured that would help at least a little bit. We're getting close to the end of this race, so I didn't want any major issues with it. All right, so Becca selects the bottom lane in the restart. Now Kyle Busch is going to be outside of row 1 for the first time today. We'll see how he is able to take control. If he loses not only the lead here, but falls back another position on top of that, he could be in deep, deep trouble into trying to win this race as we're down to just 11 laps to go and we get back racing here. And no, actually, we're going to have less than that as it looks like the caution lights, back out on the pace truck.
It's coming down to it here in Texas.
So you get one to go. Come back by here.
Let's get an update on the leader, Josh.
Yeah, and to the point of what you guys were talking about on that last restart, they were deciding for the 19 of Christian Eckes whether or not to take the bottom in the big conversation, like you showed on the video. Corey Heim has been diving low, so they told Christian, remember, if you do take the bottom, that is a possibility. The 11 has been doing it all night. So to your point, Mikey, what to do to stop him from doing that? That's what the conversation was on the radio.
You know, Josh, what's so interesting about this? Christian is going to want Corey Heim to shove it. Push me as hard as you can. I need your push to get me ahead of Kyle Busch. And then he's going to know also at the same time, he's going to try to unlock for me and get to the bottom and take me 3 wide as we get to turn 1.
If I'm Christian, I'm going to restart this race. I'm going to stay fairly low and try to stay as low as I can and not give Corey Heim a lane down there.
You know, you'd think Christian Eckes' biggest concern right now would be that truck on the outside of him, Kyle Busch. But he can't just focus on Kyle Busch because of what Corey Heim's been doing all night. He's got to have his eyeball on Kyle Busch and his eyeballs on Corey Heim.
He's got 2.
Well, one goes one way, the other. And then Taylor Gray, another great run for the kid in that 17 truck. Going to start second row outside.
Christian Eckes has been just phenomenal on restarts. We saw him last week. Gets the win at Martinsville. I mean, he hasn't faltered on one of these restarts tonight. Like you said, get that push from Corey Heim.
This is good stuff.
All right, 10-lap dash for the checkered flag. Kyle Busch trying to get his second truck win on the outside of row one, but again, it's Eckes, the controlled truck, down underneath him. He's got Corey Heim, who may try to take it 3 wide for the second consecutive restart. Green flag back in the air. Great push from Heim to the back bumper of Eckes. Eckes is going to be easily cleared well before getting into turns 1 and 2. Busch getting a push now at the end of the front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. Eckes moves up. Now he's going to have to cover the bottom potentially as Corey Heim's got a surge of momentum, but Heim can't even clear Kyle Busch. Busch getting a run in the draft now behind the 19. Slight side draft by the 11 underneath the 7 of Busch for second. Kyle Busch is clear for second place and now trying to attack on Christian Eckes for this race lead and for the eventual race win. Side by side for fourth between Sanchez and Gray on the front stretch as well. Zane Smith boxed in behind him. Fake high, going low as Busch for the lead in turns 1 and 2 under Eckes. Eckes gets up, almost out of the groove just a little bit. He is wide. Up off the exit of the corner, very low exit for Kyle Busch. Now he'll go up to side draft the 19 before diving it back off into 3 and 4 again, as the 19 of Eckes is going to pin him down on the white line. Very little room for error. Busch holds a steady race truck, side by side for the lead, and here comes Corey Heim right behind both race trucks. Who's he going to help? He side drafts the 19. That allows the 7 to pull clear into turn 1. Corey Heim is going to move into second place as he slides clear of the 19 with his slide job maneuver. Kyle Busch now with a half a second lead, if not more. Sanchez the third as the 19 had to get out of the gas to keep it off the wall as he got extremely tight when the 19 had the 11 pulled up in front of him in the center of the corner. Sanchez all over the back of Heim for second. Busch has ran away with over a half a second lead with 7 laps to go. Side by side and contact into turn 1, nearly 3 wide. The contact between Daniel Dye and Zane Smith. And still Dye was able to pass Taylor Gray even with the contact getting into the corner. Gray might have slipped a little too far wide out of the groove. Craftsman free falling. Raja Caruth, who was a lap down most of this race because of his early spin, got the free pass. And he's driven to 14th on the restart with the lack of trucks on the lead lap right now with that caution in the middle of green flag stops earlier. Great recovery run here for Caruth. Maybe trying to steal a top 10 lead if he can get a few more spots. He's within about a second and a half of Stephen Parsons in 10th, but a few more positions to obviously go from there. Corey Heim trying to play catch-up with Kyle Busch. He's been good on the short runs today. Does he have anything for the number 7? Heim and Sanchez, and Eckes for that matter, all 3 of the trucks in line behind Busch, all with a win this season. Just trying to capitalize on another and pick up more playoff points along the way. Wallace Allen hanging on to 8th. Herd of trucks behind him. Tanner Gray and Stephen Parsons were side by side. It looked like they cut it 3 wide under Allen. Allen loses 2 positions in one corner to 10th. Now 11th into turns 3 and 4 is where Allen falls as Majeski moves back into the top 10. Caruth to the inside of the 66 of Connor Jones. Looks like Jones is a lap down. And 18th, trying to remain the free pass truck in case we get another late race caution. Get a caution now, it'll force overtime at this point. We're down to 3 to go, this time by. Heim has closed the gap on Kyle Busch for this race win. Working his way on the bottom groove, he separated himself from Sanchez behind him just a bit. 3 to go. Busch trying to manage this gap for the race lead. Does Corey Heim have anything for Kyle? Heim slides up the racetrack just a little bit. Not sure if that was intentional or not through 1 and 2. I don't think it was. He lost some time. How about Christian Eckes in 4th, rebounding, trying to catch back after Sanchez again as well. So Busch picked up a little bit through 1 and 2 after Corey Heim was able to close within about 2 truck lengths that last lap. Heim a bit better through 3 and 4 than Busch, though, this time, trying to stay in the draft. Busch breaks the draft in the middle of the front stretch. 2 to go into turns 1 and 2. Heim trying the outer groove through 1 and 2. Just running that 1 lane higher could be enough to get just a little bit more straightaway speed than Kyle Busch and then work the draft down the straightaway to try to build more momentum. Busch again on the bottom. Doesn't want to come off that white line. Corey Heim, a lane off the bottom. Catching more clean air and a little bit more run in the draft down the front stretch. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Through turns 1 and 2. Truck length and a half lead. Heim to the outside. Seemed to have rolled that a lot smoother here. He's got a run on Busch. Headed into turns 3 and 4. He's got one last charge at it. He's going to make the dive. No, he's going to fake it to the outside. Kyle Busch sticks the inside lane. Off turn 4. Kyle Busch manages the gap perfectly. Right on his tail is Corey Heim, but he can't get there, and Kyle Busch wins at Texas for the 6th time in his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series career. Corey Heim ends up a very close second. He made it a fight at the finish, but Busch gets his 2nd truck win of the year. His 3rd top 2 finish in the Truck Series in 4 starts this season. And he sweeps the stages just as he did at Atlanta in his 1st truck win earlier in the year as well. 1/10 of a second margin of victory for Kyle Busch over Corey Heim as we finish the 250-mile, 167-lap race in its regulation pace. 2 hours, 6 minutes, 52 seconds total time on this one. 120.67 mile per hour average race speed. We had a total of 7 cautions, 3 for incident in the final stage, 5 for incident total in the 2 stage breaks. Busch led the most laps on top of winning Stage 1 and Stage 2 with 112 laps led. He led 3 different times, including getting the lead on this last restart with about 7 or 8 to go, and never looked back from there. 31 laps led for Christian Eckes, 16 for Sanchez to start the race, 8 for Zane Smith during green flag pit stops in the final stage. Those were the only 4 drivers to lead at least 1 lap in the race today. 7 lead changes amongst those 4 different leaders in this one. 17 drivers finished on the lead lap. We'll go through the rest of the finishing order when you get to, or after I should say, you get to hear this interview with our race winner, Kyle Busch.
He loves winning so much, he doesn't care what series it comes in. Look at these colors for Kyle Busch. Realtree.
Get to see him one more time this year, right, in the Truck Series.
We will. We'll see him at Darlington for his 5th and final race. It's got to feel good. It's been tough on Sundays for Kyle and his RCR team. See that rowdy bow.
What an amazing job that Spire Motorsports. They bought KBM out, bought Kyle's team out, and haven't skipped a beat.
And Kyle still calls into the meeting, still very much a part of this team. Brian Patty, the crew chief, setting that truck up. That was officially the 2nd closest margin of victory at Texas Motor Speedway. 1/10 of a second. Kyle Busch, Rowdy Nation's got to be happy, Amanda.
And it is a milestone win here at Texas, as it is the 50th race here at Texas. It comes as your 66th career victory in the Truck Series at a place that you now have 6 wins. What have you figured out about Texas, Kyle?
Great team, everybody here at Spire. Appreciate Brian Patty and everybody that was able to work so hard to prepare us a really fast Realtree Silverado. So thanks to Team Chevy, thanks to Realtree, their first NASCAR win. So Mr. Jordan's at home. I know Tyler's here, so exciting to have those guys with us, and going to go celebrate in Victory Lane and carry these bright colors there. I told him I wanted to do it for him, so glad we could.
There was a group of guys that definitely held you accountable tonight. Michael Waltrip said this might be one of your coolest wins in the Truck Series. Would you agree?
No, there's no, but, they definitely kept me honest. I'll give them that. So, I remember back, I want to say it was 2005 or 2006, maybe 2007, something like that at Atlanta, where I had to come from 15th with 2 to go. So that one was a little bit more exciting. That was a lot of fun, but crazy, all in the same breath. But, Corey kept us honest right there. He started to find that top over there and to get some momentum over there. I tried it with 3 to go, and I chattered really bad, so my front just wasn't working over there. But I needed more laps on my tires to be able to get up there to make that work. But he made it, got to my rear bumper getting into 3, and I just kind of was like, I don't know which way to go. So I ran the middle and then darted bottom, and then he slipped up top. And so I guess we had enough of a gap after that.
Congratulations, Kyle.
Sounded like he liked it pretty good.
Yeah. And Corey Heim comes home 2nd place here at Texas tonight. We saw you working those final restarts, trying to make different lines work. What more could you have done to catch Kyle?
Yeah, it just seemed like a big track position game at the end there. Of course, we would get really big runs down the straightaways, but once you get to the corner, it's really hard to stay behind somebody and keep momentum. So, yeah, just did all I could there. Tried to take him through in the last restart and got the caution, unfortunately, and then just trying to build a run on him. But he's just too good. You know, he just does a really good job. So, really happy with our run tonight. I mean, we got stage points to finish second. I feel like we were probably a fifth place truck, and I admittedly struggle here a little bit at this racetrack. So to finish second here is a good day for us, and we'll build on it and get better.
The top 10 streak stays alive for Corey Heim, Jamie.
No doubt it does.
Yeah, 7 straight top 10s to start these first 7 races of 2024 for Corey Heim. We'll see if he can continue that on in the next truck race at Kansas. We'll go through the full field finishing order right here before we end the stream. Again, Kyle Busch, your race winner by 1/10 of a second over second place Corey Heim. Nick Sanchez started on the pole, led some laps, finishes third. Christian Eckes led the second most laps today, finishes fourth. Finished second and third in the first 2 stages, and Zane Smith rounds out the top 5. Daniel Dye with an impressive run in 6th, ran top 10 all day. Taylor Gray finishes 7th. Tanner Gray 8th. Stephen Parsons with a great finish in 9th. And Ty Majeski rounds out the top 10. Wallace Allen got to be very near a career best. 11th place run for him, ran top 10. Even after that late caution came out, still stayed up there. Impressive there. Raja Karuth comes back from a lap down to 12th, really in the last probably 20 or so laps of this race. Stuart Friesen ended up 13th, Bailey Curry 14th, and Matt Craft at 15th. Dean Thompson involved in a wreck, finishes on the lead lap at 16th, and Johnny Sutter was the last truck on the lead lap, finishing in 17th with a slight bit of damage as well. Connor Jones with an 18th place run, first truck 1 lap down. Jake Garcia 19th, Mason Massey rounds out the top 20. Timmy Hill finishes 21st, Brett Holmes 22nd, Ty Dillon 23rd, Ben Rhodes 24th, Chase Birdie 25th, 26th for Matt Mills, Spencer Boyd 27th, Keith McGee 28th, Grant Enfinger finished 29th with a DNF at that. Chris Wright 30th, Lane Riggs 31st, Thad Moffitt 32nd, 33rd for Memphis Villarreal, and Tyler Ankrum rounds out the 34 truck field in last. Those last 3 trucks got in that incident on lap 2, only completed 1 lap today. And as a result of the incidences that we saw in the late going to this race, we had 7 DNFs in total today. And again, 3 were on that lap 2 crash. That is going to wrap up tonight's live commentary stream in the SpeedyCash.com 250 at the Texas Motor Speedway. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream if you guys haven't done so yet. We didn't quite get to our goal of 100 likes on the stream, but we'll try it all over again tomorrow. We've got a doubleheader coming for you guys tomorrow afternoon, and then, of course, our main event with the Cup race on Sunday. Tomorrow morning, just less than 12 hours from now, live commentary for NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying from Texas. Again, 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. That is our next live stream. After that, we'll have NASCAR Xfinity Series race coverage. That will begin at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And our Cup Series coverage with our pre-race begins at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday afternoon for that 400-mile, 267-lap race. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in here on this late Friday night. See you back better than ever bright and early tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Hope to see you for that. Road to 5K. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet so we can get to 5,000 subscribers over the next 24 hours. Hit the like button as well, even though we didn't get to the goal, 19 shy, so we can try to run that up here overnight as well. Yeah, again, see you back and better than ever again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Saturday night, or Friday night. Have a good rest of your Friday night, everybody.